5, 4, 3, 2, and we are live here once again at In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, the pride of the pilgrims, the most honest man in all of podcasting, handsome Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man, my audio soulmate, and the enforcer of the Headyverse.
1 inch bicep, the power goat. What's the matter with me?
Hell yeah. You wearing a Dungeon of Doom shirt?
No, Swinger Dungeon.
Swinger Dungeon? Are you a swinger now?
No, it's for a guy you might have heard of. He used to wrestle back in the day. His name was Johnny Swinger, and he's an Impact.
Johnny Swinger? He's still alive?
Yep, he's still alive.
Oh.
Am I ever going to come out of this?
I don't know. I can't remember what you did last time.
I just try not to do stuff, but this one's lasting quite a while.
Yeah.
King of all the marks. I'm the power goat. All that stuff. Jiminy Christmas.
Oh,
1 inch headroom. Yeah.
Basically. So
Max Headrooms wasn't even this bad. I mean, he would come out of it eventually.
Yeah. So a lot to talk about since last time we were here. We had one of the best Dynamites ever, I think, last week. Yeah. Royal Rumble, and then the follow-up this week, Dynamite. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if we'll go over all of Dynamite last week, but I do want to say the whole show I thought was excellent last week, and the Mark Briscoe tribute match of Jay Briscoe versus Jay Lethal was just that was awesome.
Yeah, that was a real emotional match for me. It's hard for me to admit it, but I think it was a professional wrestling match where I actually cried. So it was really emotional because it really broke me up whenever Jay Lethal came out, and you could see it on his face. Yeah. And then when Mark came out and held up the belt, so it was just, it got me, man. It really did.
Really?
I wish I wasn't like stuttering and stuff while I was talking about this, but what can you do?
I can see it's really, it's still touching you. You're all,
I'm all broken up. But I don't mean to make a joke, but I just freaking Zoom fixes shit. Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I remember we were talking not that long ago how Skype, every time the new update would come out, would make it worse and worse, and how Zoom's, for the most part, really good, and then boom.
Boom, just like that. Yeah. Let me look up this video and see if I can't do whatever it said. But,
yeah, make sure you've got nothing else running on your computer. Turn off all your firewalls and stuff.
Goodness gracious. The only thing I got, gosh.
Yeah, it was really emotional episode. And I'm not someone who follows the ratings, but apparently it did really good. It would get over 1 million views for the first time since October. So that was cool, especially, a lot of people, I think, under the impression, like, a lot of mainstream fans wouldn't know maybe who the Briscoes are and stuff, but people tuned out for the show. And I think, Jay Briscoe's life is obviously
because it really does help you take care
more important than like the tag titles or TV or anything like that. But I think they could do a lot with Mark Briscoe, either as a singles star or something. But it's a really good wrestler. He's very fun to watch. He didn't have the single run his brother did before, but hopefully they do something with him. Not to put a damper on all that, but after that really hot show last week, and something I think AEW has a problem with a lot of times is keeping up the momentum. And I thought this week was not a particularly good show. I thought it was bookend by two good segments, the opening match tonight and the closing match, but pretty much everything in between I thought was either just kind of throwaway or bad. So we'll go over it.
Yeah, I did enjoy the last match, and I enjoyed the Bryan Danielson and Thatcher match. I thought there was parts of it that was good.
Yeah, it was better than okay. That one was definitely better than some of the other stuff on the show. But I can't say I'm a big fan of this Thatcher guy. It's my first time seeing him.
Moxley and Hangman Page, I thought was great.
Yeah, so that match was awesome. I like it when they do the best of three. That's really like in real sports. If you have a two boxers and they both win a fight, you always go to the third one. So I like that. That match was great. That was a great way to start the show. And then immediately after that, so you had Moxley win, which is cool. It looked painful when Hangman did the moonsault and landed on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
To the outside of the ring. I think that's a good way to blow out your knees and your ankles.
Oh yeah. That landing looked pretty rough,
especially for a big dude to be doing that. I don't really understand. Like, I think the risk to reward ratio is way off there. Like, I don't really know what you're really getting out of hitting that. Doing the backflip and land on your feet. I don't think it really is necessarily going to add much to the match, and I think it's a lot of risk to really do serious injury to your knees and ankles. So I would think that's just kind of a dumb thing to do, but really good match.
I had an appearance from Daddy Moxley.
Daddy Moxley came out. It was funny because the announcer was like, and being accompanied by his dad. But then I felt bad for Yuta because they didn't even mention him.
Yeah. They didn't mention him until later on. But,
yeah. I think so one of the commentators said, yeah, and Wheeler Yuta too.
Mm-hmm.
But right from there, they went to like a really pitiful segment. I thought that was Bunny the Blade and Butcher, who I'm actually a fan of Blade and Butcher, but when's the last time we've seen them? It's been like months. And what have they made? Like a few appearances over like the last year or two? And then all of a sudden they're there. I was like, who cares? And then Bunny calling out Hater. I'm not a big fan of the these matches where it's just like someone is never gonna win and they're fighting the champion, and if they beat the champion, then they get a title shot. It's okay once in a while when it's like maybe somebody new or something, but the eliminator matches, it just seems like really cheap. Just like, we need a match, we're gonna do this. People aren't gonna buy that Bunny has a title shot, so we're just gonna give her this eliminator match. I'm not big on it, and I think their show is shown what I've been talking about. They don't have a strong enough women's division. They have some strong women. They have some good women on the show for sure. Hater and Britt Baker and Jade and Saraya and stuff. But they don't have enough to have two separate singles titles.
Mm-hmm.
So Jade's always got these challengers who are basically a step up from like job people that no one cares about or thinks will ever win. And then you've got like Bunny going for like the other. I think you should combine these two belts and try to focus on making one good division.
And then if you count the Women of Honor, I'm sure that belt's still around, isn't it? It wasn't Mercedes Martinez.
Because a couple
she had it,
right? Because
so that's another belt for
Ember Moon's there now, so you don't see her, and she's one of the ones who are good.
Mm-hmm. But definitely needs some work in the women's department, and I'm not necessarily a fan of this new. I like that Paige is turning heel. I think it's it's good, but I don't like that it's like the whole premise is we're from WWE and we're we're like the bad people because of that.
I actually like that. I think that's the way to go. Not necessarily that we're from WWE, we're bad, but I think it's definitely the way to go. That you keep your homegrown talent as the baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been wanting to get behind Hayter and Britt Baker for a long time. So I think that's the way to go. And it's much better than when Saraya came in and that one promo where she said, I've been in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Then you
don't
want to make your company like the shit company.
It's kind of an offshoot of that promo that she did. I think she realized that a lot of the fans didn't necessarily like that. So she's kind of playing up into it. But I don't know. I just don't think that it kind of puts Ruby in a strange spot.
Right, because they love her.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to you don't want to put her on the heel side. I think that'd be a huge blunder.
Oh yeah.
But storyline wise, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
If she's in the homegrown group.
Yeah.
But I also think Saraya's strengths right now is talking, so I would keep her maybe cutting up better. The beatdown, like they do these beatdowns way too much, and it's kind of comes off this lame, like, oh, something's happened over here, and we cut over there, and you just kind of see him.
I thought it would have been better if they were beating up on a Rebel, or what's her name? It's Rebel, right?
Yeah.
I know they always refer to her as like something else, Reby, or no, that's Matt Hardy's wife. But I thought it would have been better if they beat up on her rather than Britt Baker, and because I thought like just the beat down on Britt Baker kind of makes her look a little weak in a sense, Yeah,
it was 2-on-1, so I think that's fine.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think you need to kind of keep Britt Baker strong, and
well, if
beating up the one girl wouldn't have made any difference, and then if Ruby wanted to check on her, and they, that would have worked, I thought, but I don't know, minor thing, I think.
I just thought it wasn't a very good angle, mm-hmm. And then the next thing, it started like I'm a huge fan of the Acclaimed, and they come out and they're super over, but I thought this segment was the pits.
Yeah. It was very strange because you had the Acclaim and they wrestled some.
The other guys didn't even get it. They didn't even announce who they were.
No,
I think Excalibur might have said who they were, but
I think he did mention it in passing, but they said they're like a bootleg Beverly Brothers or something like that, and in the rap.
Right.
The rap's always great.
Yeah, that's funny. And they're crazy over, which I'm happy about because I've been a fan of them. And I'm fine if they just win a squash match, but like at least announce who these guys are.
Yeah, I was interested to see who they were, and I liked how they're like playing up that they're about to do the scissors, and they're like really doing the Macho Man kind of scissor style, like where they're like holding the wrists and going like really just fighting it almost or something. But so I like those guys, but I don't know their names.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't understand it. And then the guns come out. And this starts fine. I don't like the tease and Billy Gunn leaving the groups. I don't think that's good because it's so over, and it's only really started. So I think it's too early to split them up or even tease it. And then when they go super like serious with like the comedy guys of the guns, I don't think that worked. And especially not when they're the heels and Billy Gunn's the baby face. And you're saying like that Billy Gunn was a drug addict and walked down on his kids. And I'm like, well, what? I'm supposed to now want these guys to get beat up and lose because their dad was a drug addict and didn't pay attention to him? Like that's, and I'm supposed to cheer for him?
That doesn't make much sense. But I do like Goggo 13's comment here in the chat room. He said, I liked the Acclaim segment as I can believe Billy Gunn was a bad father.
Yeah, I mean that's funny, but I thought it was a horror. I honestly thought it was a terrible segment.
The teasing of the breakup, or I kind of saw it as like he could possibly turn on the Acclaim.
Yeah, I think it's a setup that where he's But
So-
I also think it makes no sense that the Acclaimed are baby faces. Baby faces should want to defend their belts. So why would they be upset that they're going to defend their titles against the Guns?
Because Billy set them up.
But why would they shouldn't be upset that they're defending their titles?
Well, I'm just trying to explain it for anybody who hasn't seen it. But Billy set up the match where the Guns will take on the Acclaim next week on Dynamite.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, you have a point. They're the baby faces in this, so they should be the ones wanting to take on anybody. That's kind of like the baby faces role.
I think they get their motives really out of whack. I think sometimes in AEW, like I get the idea they don't want like the classic like goody baby face, and I agree with that. But you still want you have guys that people are supposed to cheer for and people they're supposed to boo. You have protagonists and antagonists in storytelling, and they're really this didn't make sense because they have the hero. The heroes are upset they got to defend the belts in a 2-on-2 match. It wasn't like they were cheated or that they'll be at a disadvantage. So there was no reason for this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other bad guys are talking about their dad being a pill guy, and I didn't get it. Then the Jungle Hook thing. If right away I was thinking like, why are they putting him back in a team after Jungle Boy just left the team? And then he's like, the Jungle Hook's all done. And I was like, what was even the point of it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're maybe they're just like trying to act like they're not going to continue, but they will. But I'm not sure at this point. Who really knows? I thought they were pretty good as a team for the little bit that we seen them, and it seemed like they went well with each other.
Yeah.
I mentioned that even before they made Jungle Hook, but yeah, they're getting over. Why break them up already if that's the case? Mighty Lexar, I do want to talk about this later on. He says, I wish MJF would give me a briefcase full of money. So, but when we get to that,
I forgot the next match. Oh, by the way, did Hook get a new tattoo in his right here in the middle of his?
I think it was.
That looks horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't a good decision. Yeah, who's advising him on his tattoos? Cody Rhodes?
Hey, because he's a good-looking dude, and the girls love him, and they probably still will. But it looks really terrible.
Yeah, it's like something like right here in like his sternum area or something. It's like I don't know why he did that.
It looked like just a little man doing like a jumping jack or something.
Yeah, that's right. He just has his arms like
a micro brawler or something.
I thought it looked like Judge Doom when he got smashed by the steamroller in Roger Rabbit.
It's not good. It looks dumb as hell. I forgot the next match actually was good too. Is Takashita, however you say it, versus Brian Cage. I'm not a huge Brian Cage fan, but this match was good. And it's funny to me because they built Brian Cage as the Machine, as this monster, and he is jacked, but he's not very tall. Takeshita is actually taller than him.
Yeah, Brian Cage isn't very tall. But he's definitely pretty ripped. But that he's probably 5'5", probably.
I remember meeting him. I have a picture of him with Chi-Town Matt, and Matt towered over him because Matt's a very tall guy.
Yeah. So I like Brian Cage, and they put over that he's the trios champion of ROH, I guess. And that was with the other two guys. I don't even remember their names.
Please don't bring attention to more titles, AEW. I was happy when we weren't going to see all the ROH guys on the show. We don't need to know about every champion in every promotion.
Have they had a Ring of Honor show yet on
Not
the
that I
Honor
know
Club?
of.
I was wondering when their shows are going to start.
I don't.
I may subscribe whenever that happens. I know they got the Jay Briscoe show up right now, which is great.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I think it's good that they had it up and everything. And they were putting over the match with Claudio and Daniel saying it was really good, which that sounds good for a tribute to him. But yeah, Brian Cage, I like him, and it was good stuff, and I like this Takashita guy.
I like him a lot.
It's kind of neat seeing him get into the mix here.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while he's so good, but he needs some wins because you lose every time you see him. So that I think it's clear they're going to try. They're putting him in the mix as one of the top guys.
But this is one of my issues with AEW. They'll start somebody up, and just as you're getting to know them, it's like already
then you won't see him.
Else.
It's like Powerhouse Hobbs was getting all this stuff. Then you don't see him anymore. I know you can't have everyone on every show, but like another guy, Ricky
Rampage.
Starks, has been really pushed as I think he's coming across as one of the best guys on the whole show, but he wasn't on this week.
I'm not too happy with Ricky Starks.
How's that?
Not too happy with him. Did you see him backstage at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, no, I think supporting your friend's fine.
Ah, fuck that. He should know Cody.
Maybe that's why he wasn't on this week.
For the true snake that he is, and say to hell with him. Exactly. Maybe that's why he wasn't on this week. But I saw that picture and I was like, what the hell? Behind the scenes at WWE.
And what was even worse, he's like walking behind Cody like he's like the underling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's really I
I'm
used to be a Cody fan and people think I'm not a Cody fan just because he went to WWE.
You need to not
I don't like that about him, but the more you see of him, he really is just like sickening. And I think a lot of things that people said about him is true. Like I don't think anything he ever says is truthful.
He's a lot like his dad.
Yeah,
just full of a bunch of shit.
I'm pretty sure the fans eventually. I think by WrestleMania, I think they're going to turn on. We'll get to.
I think they will. I think they will.
So then we had the backstage with Jericho Appreciation Society, and I like all these guys, but I have a huge issue with this angle too. Garcia Guerrero Gauntlet, AEW, enough with gauntlets. And you killed us with tournaments, and now you do these gauntlets. You have a gauntlet going on now. Where Daniel Bryan has to go through all the people to get to MJF. Mm-hmm. Don't do another gauntlet while you're doing one already. It's overkill. Yeah. I like the idea, and you can do them once in a while, but not multiple ones at the same time.
And they kind of keep them going, and it's like, all right, we just, you kind of let it cool off for a while and then bring them back.
Right.
But you have a lot of gauntlets. I'm not crazy about Garcia and Sammy doing whatever they're doing. I'm not enjoying that. I think Garcia was getting over.
He was getting over as a babyface.
And it's like, now they're doing this stuff, and it's like, I'm not a fan.
I like to see more of the other team, honestly. Danny Magic and the other guy. I think that's the team.
I kind of had that thought whenever he said, like, it's going to be the Garcia Guevara, whatever. And then they were the first ones. They were the cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like these guys probably more than I like these guys.
I like them better as a team. I think Guevara probably still has but I don't know. Garcia really was coming to his own, like you said. He was having great matches, and now he's just kind of there.
It's like he went and got married to Beth Phoenix, and it just sucked all of his charisma away.
I think the thing is, he was building up where he was going to leave, and people were behind him. And then if he left, he would have been feuding with Jericho. It's a swerve, and he stays. That angle itself is fine, but that makes him, at best, like the third guy on the team now. Because Jericho will be number one, and Sammy's going to be two. So Garcia's the third link on the team now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the third part of the group. And the other group, I've always been a Daddy Magic fan. I honestly think this guy's got off the charts.
How can you not be a Daddy Magic fan?
The other guy won me over tonight too. When he's like, you're not getting by me. And the suspenders, I think of it. I think that guy is He's not Daddy Magic level, but he's
Luke.
Cool Hand Luke holds his own too. That would be that's my underdog. That would my black horse would be not the Guns or not anybody right now, but I would have them dethrone the Acclaimed because they would get so much heat taking the titles off the Acclaimed. And you can always do a second title reign with the Acclaimed because the fans love them. And I think baby faces are always better chasing the titles. Those guys, I think a title run would also really help elevate them. And if they would sneak out victories over like the established teams, I think that'd be good.
I think they're definitely more seasoned than the Guns.
Yeah.
And I think if they
put those guys up against future, but
I think if they put those guys up against each other, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Luke taking on the Acclaim, I think that you'd probably get a lot more heat, a lot more interest. I think you could definitely. I just don't think the Guns are really ready at this stage.
Yeah, I agree. And the other guys are, and those guys cutting promos and the idea of them kind of always cheating like a victory, kind of like Honky Tonk Man kind of style. You know what I mean? Always squeaking out. I think that would have legs, and you'd build up to the Acclaim eventually getting them back. But and then the Acclaimed haven't been multiple time champions when they're your homegrown team over the years. I think that only helps to their legacy too.
But Billy Gunn turning on the Acclaim to go back with his sons, that does not sound like a good. That sounds like you're going to kill the Acclaim with.
Yeah, I don't think it's smart.
I think it's going to kill all their momentum. It's going to turn people off. They're not going to care about them as much, and they're just going to be trying to get that.
Yeah, don't kill off something that the crowd legit loves. At least till it starts to wear thin. I mean, I know you don't want to turn someone at the point when no one cares at all, but not right when it's like at its like height.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the next segment, there was a bunch of stuff here I just didn't get because the Elite, since they came back, have been like the fans have loved them. And now we're like straight up heels again. All the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, they were all heels again. And then
during the basketball segment.
Yeah. And then I know they're building up to they're gonna fight some baby faces, but the next match is against more heels.
Yeah, that's going to be.
It's like all these hated people, and they went
Matt Hardy's crew. Well, it's not his crew, but Ethan Page and I can't think of the other guy's name from.
It's like one half of the other team.
Private Party. I forget his name. I apologize, but it's those three versus the Elite.
That team sucks. That's a shit team to go for. You're trying to establish the trios title, and you just had this best of 7 series, which you devoted 7 weeks of TV time or 8 weeks, and the pay-per-view. That was great. The follow-up is against a mishmash of just 3 random guys. That's terrible. You have like all these established trios in AEW. You've got the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. You could put them against trios that exist and that people might care about. That is just a throwaway match. It should not even when you're starting to establish these as real titles, that does not work. That's back in the day when they had a 6-man title every once in a while would pop up. They would just throw 3 random dudes together. And that's why it doesn't work. That's a terrible match.
We got some comments here in the chat room. Galgo13 says MJF already did a gauntlet in his Wardlow feud. I agree. Enough with the gauntlets. We all know TK, Tony Khan, is the boss. So why does the heel MJF get to make the rules on how someone gets a title shot?
Well, I have no problem with that, but because you have to have the heel have the advantage. If the heel's at the disadvantage, that's messed up storytelling. Because the hero always has to overcome. If the villain has to overcome, that's not good storytelling.
Jonathan Jackson has a statement. I want to see if you agree. He says the Elites has more turns than Big Show at this point.
It's almost that there aren't even turns. It's just like they're just whatever they decide to be that week. And I think that's not good.
could it lead into somebody returning possibly? That they've got to turn heel? Could
Yeah,
it?
but I wouldn't do that. I would wait and see who the fans side with. I would try to
that's
keep
true,
them both in a way babyface, and then whoever the fans are really getting behind this, then make the other guys like the actual heels.
Mhm.
I also think that would work better anyway, just because of the makeup of it with real emotions. And even the guys that they were fighting next, which I actually really like Top Flight, and I like AR Fox.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of a weak one too, but it's better than the Hardys and the.
I think
bunch of
those
dudes.
guys could tear it down though more.
No, that'll be a
I
much
think-
better match. Yeah.
I think that I'm a big AR Fox fan. I loved
He's
him
been
in
really
Lucha
impressive
Underground,
since he came back. Yeah.
and I love what's her name's Top Flight. Is it Top Flight?
Yeah, Top Flight. They're great.
Okay, that just didn't sound right to me.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Another thing about that, you guys get some lav mics. The audio was shit. This was like something someone records and puts on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, even a lot of people on YouTube have better audio than this. This was awful for a television show.
Mhm.
That was like
Yeah.
embarrassing. That really makes it seem like total minor league stuff.
Yeah. At
can't
what
even
point
barely
were
hear
you
what they're
talking
saying.
about?
When they're playing basketball, the audio was horrible.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because they were just using like the mic off like the camera. That's the horror. That's like anyone even knows not to do that today, because everyone does YouTube videos. So not to just take the live mic off the camera, especially for television. It's awful. Daniel Bryan versus Timothy Thatcher. This match was good, but it's my first time seeing this Thatcher guy, but I can't say I'm a fan. He's like so goofy. Maybe he might be a guy who would grow on me, but he's so goofy looking, and he acts like really silly. Like the expressions were over the top silly to me.
Yeah.
I don't. And then he talked about being like he grew up like idolizing Johnny Valentine.
Yeah.
And then Tony Schiavone's like, I grew up watching him. Like, yeah, Tony Schiavone's in his 60s. This guy's what, 25?
He can't be that old, I don't think. I mean, and where can you access like videos of Johnny Valentine? I've never seen any of his matches. I don't think.
Me neither. We've talked to people who even legends we had on the show. They remember Johnny Valentine when they were a kid watching wrestling.
Yeah.
This is a guy, when he wrestled, like the 60s?
I mean, they said that his career ended on that plane crash with Ric Flair. And that was before Ric Flair was really who Ric Flair is.
Right.
He was just coming up at that time. So Timothy Thatcher was the guy who said wrestling hasn't been good since the 60s, Jonathan Jackson.
That could be. He's like one of the internet guys.
Like, I don't know where you really access the footage from the 60s, or if there is any.
He stopped wrestling in like 1973. So
Yeah.
he would have stopped wrestling way before this guy was even born.
I would say, yeah.
And he's not like, even if he would have said Bruno, like that's obviously before his day, but you can watch a lot of Bruno stuff like on the network or something. Or, Superstar Graham or Pedro Morales and stuff. But yeah, I don't think there's much Johnny Valentine. You'd have to really hunt this down.
Of Johnny Valentine.
I don't want to sound. People are gonna say,
"Oh my God, I got." You don't want to know what popped up when I put in best of Johnny Valentine.
Whoa, some jacking material.
No, I'm just kidding. It does sound like a porn name or something. Johnny Valentine.
I don't know. I'd have to see more of this guy. Maybe he'll win me over, but he just really goofy looking.
Yeah, I've seen him in NXT. I saw his feud with Matt Riddle, and I've seen I think he was wrestling with Johnny Gargano a lot in NXT, and he did some good stuff there. I think he might just have to grow on you a little bit, but yeah, I knew that would stick in your crawl about the Johnny V stuff or Johnny Valentine. It's like who really knows? I mean, everybody knows it's Greg the Hammer's dad,
right?
But I mean, you can't access his footage. I mean,
he's a guy that the old timers always talk about. Like he would just sit and headlock for like a half hour.
Yeah. I know Dory Funk Jr. says he's like the best of all time. So
yeah, but I mean, Dory Funk's like
Funk Jr.,
nothing against the dude, but he does not wrestle style that people today would enjoy.
Dory Funk Jr. is a very, very old man.
Right. He's multiple time guest here on the show.
He is. We love him. But
so MJF came out, then Takeshita cut him off, which was cool. Then they cut in the back a little bit later. MJF has a different shirt on. Either he ran to the back and changed his shirt real quick, or they filmed these at different times. Mm-hmm. But I don't care about that. But so MJF's paying off a Roosh. And now Danielson versus Roosh, I think will be really good. I actually am a big fan of Roosh, and I wish they would come up with like good storylines for the guy instead of he just randomly wrestles people now and then. But I actually even like the group. I think 10 going with them is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like Roosh and him. But and I like Roosh Bandito and the guy used to be 10. I kind of like that group. But I just kind of had enough of the gauntlet thing. But the match itself will be really good.
Roosh, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And boy, did he hit the lottery with that big payoff. And without even doing the job yet that MJF gave him. A big briefcase full of money. That's just an obscene amount of money. Yeah. And he said he had 5 more for him if he does the job. But that briefcase was too much because, I mean, the envelope I thought was fine, but like a briefcase full of money, I mean, he's probably set for life if that's all full of like, that's like stacks of hundreds.
What if it's just full of like dimes?
Well, they opened it and they showed like some.
It was open hospital. It was like all these rolled pennies.
That would be a heavy ass briefcase.
But yeah, it's good. Now, if you're gonna do all these multiple gauntlets, you have to throw a wrench into this, and a guy wins the gauntlet. The bad guy wins the gauntlet, and then you got to come up with a creative way out of this. So let's say in the middle of the gauntlet, he's chasing, eventually getting MJF. Daniel Bryan loses to Roosh. Which it's bad. It's bad though to have your babyface lose on his rise to the championship. But okay, let's say he gets cheated and he loses, and then it's like, and then Daniel Bryan's just like, I want this title so bad, and MJF's just like, well, you can't get the title. It's like, I'll do anything, and then it's like, okay, well, you'll have to beat this guy, or you're gonna. This is the end. You have to retire or something. You have to throw another stipulation in here. You gotta make it a little more interesting instead of the way everyone knows it's going to happen. The guy, I don't like swerve for the sake of swerve, but when it's so obvious that the guy's going to win like 5 matches in a row, then fight MJF.
I thought Timothy Thatcher might have beat him at one point. Like it was about to happen, but it didn't. He had him in like a submission and stuff. And I will say that I did like how Timothy sold the kicks, the yes kicks or whatever they call them now.
Yeah.
I thought he did a very good job selling those. But I see what you're saying though. It's like if you're going to have these gauntlets all the time and it's always the baby face gets through it, then it's like it's pretty predictable.
Yeah, it's like we watched 5 weeks of this and we know exactly what's going to happen.
I guess so that since they have that stipulation where it's an Iron Man match, if Daniel Bryan makes it, so he picks the stipulation. So I guess I can't really have him lose if they still want to do the Iron Man match.
But I'm saying like, what if halfway through he loses and like days like to even get to it, he's got to now put up his career or something, or take away the Iron Man stipulation. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe they'll do something. I don't know.
Sean's View Entertainment. He says epic content. Big fan.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Rookie of the Year,
There we
Sean
go.
View Entertainment. I think he's up for Rookie of the Year next year at the head. He's along with Owl.
Ow. Most definitely.
Let's see. So then
I
we
was
had
saying to Al, he says, I wish AEW had 24/7 more belts so the whole roster can have one. Like a participation trophy.
right. Well, that's why I was glad when they after the Ring of Honor thing, we didn't see all the ROH belts. So we have a better one. But this belt, as I said earlier, we do not need 2 women's belts because we don't have enough women to fill up 2 rosters, 2 champions. I'll have to say this though, Jade has become an actually really good performer.
Yeah.
She was great in this match. And I couldn't care less about Red Velvet. They need some like real challengers for Jade.
Mm-hmm.
But Jade made this work, and I went in thinking, who gives a shit? If she had some really good people, that the crowd were into work with, I think you got like a legit superstar on your
I will say though, at the end of the match, where she picked up her daughter and I was like, how can you boo that? I mean,
yeah, honestly,
that was not.
They want to cheer her anyway. They cheer her when she wins.
I mean, you're an asshole if you're booing her while she's walking with her daughter. So it's like, I think maybe they probably should turn her face. I mean,
she fits in with the Britt and Hater as the homegrown AEW women.
True. Maybe that's where they're going, and we just don't see it yet. Who knows? Who knows?
And are all the baddies gone now? Like they've all, and now it's like I don't even know who Layla Gray is.
They're all
That's
goodies now.
They're all the goodies, yeah. So she's 50 and 50 now. I mean, the match went great, but Jade is really good.
Tony
I wish they would get her in some real stuff.
He said something like Red Velvet. It's like she's going for like she's.
Yeah, I wish.
But like it wasn't Red Velvet like the first one that she beat to like go on to this like big 50 and or I forget who she beat for the title, but was it Red Velvet?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
It's hard to remember, but yeah, it's nice. I
think it was Ruby.
Was it Ruby? Okay.
I think so.
There was an exchange between Taz and Tony where Taz called Tony a kiss ass when he was like really taking up hard for Tony Khan. And it did make me laugh. So yeah, I'll give Taz credit there. He did. But then
Tony, which I know he was right, but when Tony's like Red Velvet's, took her to the limit, I was like, don't say that though. That like sounds so lame. Like Red Velvet gave her the biggest the hardest person for her to beat was Red Velvet.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, that'd be like like Goldberg. He had the hardest match against Ron Fuller or something.
Yeah, Athena, I think was a very good match for Jade.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good.
She always had the look. I said from the beginning, I think they did her a disservice just having her on so early, but people I think forget about her being pretty bad to begin with. But if she would have debuted right now or around this time and had like matches off TV to get to this level, like it would be, wow, this is a new person, really good. Which by the way, they announced that they're gonna do house shows, and I think that's why that's so important for AEW is a lot of the green talent need more ring time. And so you can have them have like actual matches on the house shows, and you just improve that way.
I hope they don't make like, I like that they did the Dynamite around me. I hope that they don't relegate us to the house show district.
Right. And I hope they're not like the dark stuff I've been to, because that stuff is horrible. It's not, it's like just complete squash matches that are like, some of them were like 10 seconds. Like, this is not nonsense.
It's not like I hate like dark shows,
Oh, sure. You can have some squash matches, but not where they're literally someone just walks the ring and hits one move.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot more excitement for the TV taping, and you can come back and do a show like this and talk with other people who actually seen it,
Right. The rise of once Raw and Nitro started, it made the house shows a tough sell, because when I grew up, you saw nothing but squash matches on TV, and then every once in a while Saturday Night's Main Event and like a couple pay-per-views a year. But you didn't see like the stars against each other on TV at all. You saw superstars, and it was always Barry Horowitz and these guys against, Jake the Snake and stuff. So then you'd go to the house show and you'd actually see the stars wrestle each other. So it was a big deal. But then once Nitro and Raw started going head to head, both shows were filled with all those matches. So then everything flipped. Instead of the house shows having the big matches, the TV had all the big matches. And the house shows, like, the guys actually, instead of working harder, because that was the match people paid to see, they worked light, they didn't work as hard because this was just a house show and it wasn't the big match on the television.
Yeah. Well, there's a man in our chat room, and he says, I wish someone would acknowledge me. And Patrick Howell, I wish you would acknowledge me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never says, hey, Jack and Incher. He just comes in and says, talk about me. But we love you, Patrick.
We love you, Patrick. We're just yanking your chain, pal.
Yeah. Then we went to I think the match of the night. I love both these guys. They work well together. Darby gives his whole body every match. He's the best little guy. All his dives and stuff look like he's trying to take the guy out. You can believe when he does his stuff that it would hurt somebody, and he's also getting killed himself. And Joe I've always been a big fan of, and he knows how. Also, sometimes I think sometimes big guys don't get enough credit if they know how to work with a little guy, and Joe knows how to work with a smaller guy. He knows how to sell just enough to make it look cool. And these guys, very violent. This is my kind of wrestling. I like the violent stuff.
Yeah.
It was good.
The kicking it off with Darby Allin coming out, and he had like a hoodie that was like, had a bunch of thumbtacks all over it. That was something I've never seen before.
No, me neither. And they used it in the match and stuff. That was good. This was excellent. This was really good.
It was very good. Craziness, hardcore match. I think Darby wanted to go all out because he was dropping the belt in this one. And
he's not a guy that's got a boo-boo face when he loses.
He's not sitting there kissing the title saying, oh, I'm losing it.
Right.
He does what's right. I think that comes across in his training. He was trained by a good man, and he knows not to be kissing the belt and making a big sad face when it was over. But with nothing about those marks that I'm the king of. Good job, Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Thoroughly great match. Joe, when he got hit by the table on the outside, and he was bleeding and stuff, and then he got the salt in the face. That was like a crazy visual because like the blood was just coming down right here, and then his face was full of the sand or salt or whatever you want to call it. And that was really cool. And then they put over how he must have washed it off on the outside, whenever he went outside of the ring. And it looked like he was trying to flip me, like he set the table up against the barrier between the fans. And looked like he was going to try to flip him outside of the ring, but he just kind of grabbed Darby and flipped him outside. So I'm not sure if they're trying to hit the table or if he missed him by that much, but it still looked pretty freaking crazy. So that was pretty awesome. So
it was awesome. I loved it. And
Darby,
part of me wanted Darby to have the long title.
Ring.
Go on, sir.
Yeah, he exposed the boards in the ring.
Oh yeah, great finish too. Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
And I'd be all for Darby a long title reign, but I also like when they do this once in a while where it's two like strong champions and they exchange a belt back and forth, because in real combat sports, that can happen.
Oh yeah.
So
Darby, he was not victorious. Samoa
No.
Joe beat him. He is the new TBS champion, and it brought out a feud that was happening in the past,
Yeah.
and he put him out for a while. Was Wardlow.
Yeah, which I'm happy about too. I'm a Wardlow fan. I think actually losing the man bun is an improvement. I think he looks better.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I think it's a big improvement.
Yeah.
I think he looks more like a star now.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think he looked kind of silly before.
Yeah.
So, good job, good choice there.
Yeah, and I thought, and this was actually an example of keeping someone off TV for a little bit that is a benefit. Because after the Joe loss, he was really kind of like, wow, he's kind of just been destroyed. And just being off TV for about a month, when he came back, everyone was into him again.
And Wardlow, he was given like a security guard, like a power ball, and the show just went off the air. We didn't even get to see the big power bomb. So we didn't even get to see the sell job that the security guard did, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there was some actually really good stuff on the show and some stuff I thought wasn't so good, but I don't know. I guess now that we talked about it, honestly, for that match and the opening match, and then like
there was good stuff,
the Takeshita and stuff. So overall, I would like it, but there's some stuff I didn't like. But
you did not agree with.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say thumbs up for the good stuff. It outweighed the bad, but I do think if they do go in that direction with the Acclaim, that is a very bad choice to do.
I agree.
So I enjoyed the show. I thought it was good. It was their debut show in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah. I know a lot of Ohioans, so I don't know if they were out there or not.
Mm-hmm. I have a cousin that lives out in Dayton, so
Lisa Sheets.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Hope, Allison, some people out there in Ohio. I don't think those other two are wrestling fans.
Jonathan Jackson's got the reports from after the show went off the air. He said the security guard popped up and gave Wardlow a Canadian destroyer after.
And then he bought WWE and sold it to the Saudis.
That security guard?
Yeah.
Did he steal MJF's briefcase of money?
He bought it with the briefcase of money. Yeah, instead of just giving it to Rouge to fight Daniel Bryan, he should just went and bought WWE.
Yeah, probably. I bet there's enough in there.
So Royal Rumble was this weekend, and it's funny. I've seen people say it was one of the greatest Royal Rumbles of all time. Dave Meltzer said the men's Rumble was one of the best Rumbles he's ever seen, and that I didn't really understand that. And then I saw people saying it was one of the worst Rumbles ever and one of the worst pay-per-views ever, and I don't agree with that either. I thought it was a fine show.
I think the Royal Rumble was all right and everything, all up until the end, and I think the end was
end's off the charts.
A history-making moment in wrestling.
So I thought the men's Royal Rumble, wasn't necessarily a bad match, but it was very lackluster, I think, for a few different reasons. There was no big surprises.
Booker T's not a big surprise for you.
The one legend I get is gonna be fucking Booker T, but at least it's somebody.
But he's not gonna, like, if WWE calls him, he's not gonna be like, no.
I thought tossing out Brock Lesnar and Lashley like in the middle was a mistake because you had no top guys at the end with Cody. You had just had Gunther, who I love Gunther, but I don't think anyone expected Gunther to win and go on to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So having him at the end with Cody, even though I like Gunther, I think that was a mistake because the drama wasn't really there for me because I knew all along who's going to win. I also think a huge blunder in that is they should have reversed the two. Cody should have been one since he's the baby face. He should be number one and last the whole show and have to overcome the fresh big heel, as opposed to the heel was really the like the guy with like the who had to overcome because he stayed from number 1 all the way through.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very strange. And then he gets beat by the guy who had the number 30 spot.
He even
So
kind of put
Cody
it
actually
over.
had the big he had the advantage.
He kind of even put it over as like he stayed in the match, like he outlasted 30 other men or 29 other men. And like, it's like, dude, you came out at 30. You didn't outlast anybody. You're like the last one to come out. Probably got that in his little contract. He was like, you can't bury me, and you gotta make me come out at 30 and I get a WrestleMania match.
Probably. I'm going to disagree with Golgo. Actually, both these things. He said enjoyed the Royal Rumble, but they should not have had the men's Rumble as the first match. They should have had the women's first. I actually thought the women's one was better. So, but I also think the men's Rumble should always be the last match at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And I can agree with that, but I think either the Royal Rumble or your title match. And I don't think you could have anything follow the angle at the end of the title match. So
yeah,
I think it would have been a mistake to not have that last. You couldn't have had that all that at the end and then go into another match.
Yeah.
No matter what it was.
And the Hardy performance too was weird. Like they had it like right on before the main match. It's like they normally get that out of the way at the beginning of the
That was horrendous. The 2 matches after
I hear WWE wasn't very happy with his performance either from some of the reports that I've seen. But
2 match, I thought the who is it? Who is the women's title match? I thought that match was terrible.
Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I thought that was trash.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking Alexa Bliss would enter the Rumble, but she wasn't. So.
And the other and the blackout match, I thought that was one of the worst matches I've ever seen on pay-per-view.
I wasn't paying real close attention while that one was going on, but I did think some of the effects that they did was kind of neat.
I thought it was absolutely terrible.
Well,
and especially since it's for Bray Wyatt, who's supposed to be this supernatural evil dude, and he's got neon pink. He's got like a kendo stick and it looks like rubber. Looks like some kids would play with like glow sticks, and it's neon pink and blue.
Yeah.
And then like why would they pack like some kind of green neon confetti to explode in the table? Unless I know it's wrestling, but still, why would I'm watching it. And you can just suspend your disbelief on some stuff. I'm like, well, someone would have had to pack this neon green confetti in the table so it would explode if someone got power bombed through it or whatever.
Yeah.
This is kind of stupid. And then the end, like is this like a blood feud that like this, like he would just sacrifice himself to like kill LA Knight? Like, didn't seem like well, because Uncle Howdy, after he wins, Uncle Howdy comes out and like just does like a suicide bomb.
Why is Uncle Howdy jumping on him? Because like Uncle Howdy was like
he already won.
He did the Bray Wyatt's finisher on him on SmackDown, so it's like you didn't really think Uncle Howdy liked Bray Wyatt, but so now he's helping him out by like jumping on LA Knight at the end, doing that crazy dive.
Yeah, and did they hate LA Knight that much that he would like kill himself to beat up LA Knight and then burn him on fire? Like, well, seems kind of overkill. I don't know.
I think Vince McMahon's hand is creeping up Jack. It's wanting to get into that creative pie. He's dipping his finger into the creative pie. And he said, LA Knight wasn't that goof in the maximum male models. And he's like, he thinks he's going to be somebody. Let's grab that carpet, whoop, pull it right out from underneath him. He's getting buried tonight. He's having Uncle Howdy jump on his ass. Uncle Howdy.
It was bad time. I just think he's just the shits. I try to give Bray Wyatt chance after chance. I love the original Wyatt's run as trios, but he just, everything he's involved in, I think is just absolute trash. Like, it's stuff that makes me just not want to watch it at all. If this was a TV show, not the pay-per-view, I would have just turned it off during that match. Like, it was just horrible.
Yeah, it was bad. And I was listening to Brian Alvarez, and he said that it was WCW bad. Now, I don't feel like WCW.
No, I think it was WWE bad.
I think WCW.
And that's not saying everything WWE is bad, but it's like WWE style bad stuff.
Yeah. I think they're pretty much on par with bad stuff. I don't think WCW's had bad.
They had bad stuff,
you know? I mean,
but so is
they
the
definitely
WWE.
did.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think they're on par with each other. I don't think like WWE is
No,
always
they've had lots of terrible stuff.
quality. I mean, yeah there's been terrible. They had the gobbledygooker. I mean, the gooker is known as the worst thing that's probably ever happened in wrestling.
I grew up watching, every wrestling I could see. And I mean, there was a lot of really stupid. I mean, people now think TNT was this great show. That show was awful back in the 80s. The talk show. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Everything on it was just stupid. People look at it now as just, if it was so great, why didn't it last? Why did they change it? Because it was awful and no one liked it.
Yeah. I remember watching Hulk Hogan.
They had George Animal Steel become like a genius. Like, he got like something dropped on his head and he became a genius. Like, it was filled with idiotic stuff. You also had stuff I love, like Piper's Pit is some of the greatest stuff. You had Macho Man's feud with Ricky Steamboat. There was great stuff in WWF. There's also a lot of horseshit.
Jonathan Jackson's turning on you here in the chat room.
Well, he's just being a trolly joke. But Travis Sandell, come on, the Mimosa match with Jericho. Pitch Black was way worse than that. I actually really liked the Mimosa match. Orange Cassidy vs. Jericho, I thought was a great match. And that was one I always said that they really missed the boat on capitalizing on Orange Cassidy's momentum, because that was really built up to that match. Orange Cassidy went over, and then like they didn't go on with him having like a title shot or anything. In fact, I think he just went into losing matches right after that.
I mean, it's hard for me to think of anything that AEW did that was like really embarrassingly bad outside.
Just like maybe the bomb
finish.
didn't going off.
Yeah, that
like,
was what I was
up
gonna
until
say.
that, like
Yeah, the match was fine. It was just the bomb screwing up that was really bad. Maybe the big spider web of barbed wire and all that. I think that was a little hokey.
I don't remember.
Well,
I mean, I probably
it was Moxley and Omega. And
I like that. Yeah.
I thought that was a little too much, but really, there's not much stuff that I can think of that was like. So
no, a lot of the stuff
bad.
that I think is really bad is like a couple like women's matches on Rampage or something, but it's like a nothing match. That doesn't really matter. It wasn't like a built up pay-per-view match.
Yeah, I really can't think of anything too much.
Might have been something with when when they had no crowds and Matt Hardy's teleporting around, like that stuff.
Yeah,
was really bad.
It was amusing at times, but yeah, it was kind of bad. I mean, yeah,
but I look over anything that happened honestly during the first year of COVID, because people were just, even the stuff like I really thought was terrible. Like, I'm just going to give it a pass now because they were trying to do whatever they could. No one knew what to do. You couldn't have a crowd. They were trying to entertain people. So I just look over anything that happened during that period.
Give everybody a pass on that one.
Yeah. Everyone was trying their best. A lot of it didn't work, but they were just, I don't know. They were trying to do something. Like a lot of the cinematic stuff I thought was, awful, but I don't know. They were trying to do something. They couldn't have a crowd. They're trying to do something. So we just look over it.
Most definitely.
I thought the women's rumble was really good. And I didn't know about 75% of the people came out and be like, who the hell is that? But in a way, it was fun because some of the people, I was like, oh, these people are pretty good. And it made me realize WWE does have a really strong women's division. Some of the women aren't necessarily, like, I don't know, so maybe they're not over, but most of the women were good. There's a really tall, like, Mexican woman.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, she's really impressive.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's Rodriguez. She's really
Michelle
impressive.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. And the
For
finish
Gonzalez.
of the women's Royal Rumble was great.
Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, I really like her.
I'm not sure who Michelle Rodriguez is.
That's who is Raquel. And then the finish of the women's Rumble I thought was excellent.
Yeah.
That one kept you who's going to win, and then the spot at the end, it could have easily mishap. Rhea could have easily touched the feet on the ground, and I thought that was cool. Rhea's really big, and she was doing the skin the cat, but she was blinded, and because she got like the mist in the eye, and she almost like not a hurricanrana, because almost reversed, but she grabbed her by the neck and threw her off. It was really cool. It was a cool spot. I liked it.
For like a Hulk Hogan, like BS lie, I think Michelle McCool gets the award for that. She says that she did not know they were going to put her in the Royal Rumble.
I was gonna kick
that. That's like Hulk Hogan playing bass for Metallica level bad. Like, how can you say that with a straight face? Honestly, I mean, you got to know who's winning the Royal Rumble. There's not going to just put her in there without telling her.
And she just happened to wear her gear under her clothes.
Oh, yeah, come on. I
get a kick out of usually all the legends when they come in, they get thrown out immediately and kind of look like they're goofs. Except for Michelle McCool, always just decimates everyone. And is in the Rumble for a long period of time because she is like this total badass. I don't know why that is. I wonder why that could be.
How about that Chelsea Green return? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, first either Vince is like there or Triple H has some of Vince in him.
I'm saying it. Vince is getting back into it. He's trying to keep it on the down low, but there's definitely some Vince McMahon.
Because I was definitely done to like, hey Zach, your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever is like as big of a loser as you.
Yeah, she came in the Rumble and lost instantly. So
that does remind me. I want to give a shout out to Kojo's. It's a wrestling toy store in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The guy who runs, I believe his name is Kojo. He was on SmackDown years ago, I believe, against Kane. And when I was at AEW a couple years ago, the crowd was all chanting Kojo, and I didn't know why. And apparently he was on Dark because he's a local guy wrestling there. And so Troy and I went there last week. We went and ate at a really cool place you would like, Play Arcade. It's an arcade, all kinds of cool old games.
Yeah,
tons of old games and stuff on the wall, and then cool food. They have Tetris tots, so it's tater tots shaped like Tetris pizzas, which is very fun.
Ooh.
And next to it is this toy store, and he was there, and he gave me a free Sabu autograph, which I thought was pretty awesome. And I bought some cool action figures. I bought the Owen Hart AEW action figure, which is really nice, and the Series 1 of the new Mattel Retro WWE guys. They come in a package, a WrestleMania package. So it's Mr. T, Cowboy Bob Orton, Roddy Piper, and Mean Gene Okerlund. They're very cool. So shout out to Kojo's Toy World if you're ever in New Bedford. Check it out. Really nice place. Very nice guy. So the main event, Roman Reigns, the whole everything about the whole act is perfect. Everyone's doing their role great. You've got the Wise Man, you've got Sammy, you've got the Usos. Roman Reigns comes out there looking like this is a true superstar. The way he moves, like his expressions, everything. This is just great. And Kevin Owens is a good foil for him because he's like the everyman. It's a similar vibe to like Ric Flair and Dusty, where Ric Flair was the rich guy and he's fighting the everyman, Dusty Rhodes. This is different but similar, where the other guy looks like $1 million. He's the tribal chief, and then you've got the guy who looks like everyman. He's a scruffy beard. He's just like a working man.
Yeah.
And so that whole thing works. Then you have the end, Sami Zayn like telling them to stop. They're beating down Kevin Owens. They handcuff him.
That was definitely something Paul probably threw in. I mean, that was very.
Oh yeah, that was right out of ECW.
Yeah. I mean, when Tommy Dreamer was like handcuffs to the ropes.
Yeah.
My
only issue with this is at that point in time, there has to be like security coming out because the match is over, or some other wrestlers. What if Sammy wouldn't get involved? Everyone in WWE would just sat there and just they would have like literally murdered the man because they beat him down for like 10 minutes, and then we're gonna destroy. They were literally gonna murder him, so they would just let them the Samoans just murder the man in the ring, and it wouldn't have taken much. You could add some people run to the ring and the Samoans are beating them off as they come to the ring. But
they're beating them off, Jack?
Exactly. They could have beat them off, and everyone would have got over. It would have been a big pop.
But it was such a long time to get to the ring, though. It would have took them forever just to run all
that is, they needed the old cart from WrestleMania 3.
Just zip them down there. They could have had like the security wagon, just like
maybe that's why they didn't have many legends in the Rumble. They're like, we can't send people to run down that ring. We can't. Iron Sheik can't run down there.
No, I don't think you would have been able to. But maybe
that's why old lady McCool was in the front row. They're like, she's like, I can't walk down all that way.
She's not an old lady. Come on now. But Jackie Jones, this was a history and wrestling moment. I thought it was so good. I can't believe it. Just how Sammy played off of the whole thing of his friend being locked up in the ring, and everybody was beating down on him, and he looked so conflicted inside, like he didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roman, saying, you're right, I probably shouldn't do it. It's beneath me, like Sammy was telling him. And he just held out the chair and he said, you do it. And then Sammy looked so conflicted and he was like, didn't know what to do. I loved Roman's line when he looked at him and said, do you want to go back to doing that jackass shit? And just, I thought, oh my God, that was just such a great line. And then like Sammy backs up and he's contemplating it still. And then he hit Roman with the chair instead. And then just the look on the Usos face and Paul Heyman on the outside. I mean, they're like, no, you could tell like they were like upset with Sammy. And it was just so well done. And then they super kicked him. And Jay, he was the one who left because he didn't want to get involved with beating down on Sammy. So he may be joining up with Sammy, but who knows? We'll see. But I really love this segment. I mean, probably one of the loudest pops I think I've ever heard was when Sammy hit him with the chair.
Yeah, the crowd went nuts. And then so much heat on Roman Reigns for then beating down Sammy.
Yeah, for sure. And I loved it. I thought, my God, if this storyline, if they really run with this,
to me,
I think AEW's got some issues. I think because this was off the charts.
This is the best angle. Yeah, this is nothing's gonna beat this as far as angles go and acting stuff.
No. I mean, I know that's been building for a long time here, but I mean, it's red hot.
Yeah.
But WWE's going to screw it up.
In my opinion, they already are, because this show to me proved the main event at Mania should be Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. This has been built up the most. This is the match that has the most emotional attachment. People are really invested in this, and some people yell, "Oh, well, they're going to do it at the Elimination Chamber." Yeah, to do this big angle where the crowd was so into it, and then blow it off at let's be honest, a B-level show. That I think that's a huge disservice to the angle, to Sammy. This is the match that they want to see.
And that's why I believe Vince McMahon is dipping his finger in that creative pie. He's getting it wet in there. He's saying, "Oh, I'm testing the waters. I'm just going to eventually just shove the hand all the way through into that creative pie, Jack." And he's going to take it back. He can't stand Sami Zayn. He wants to blow this shit off and get it out of the way so he can have his beautiful Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. The match that nobody wants to see.
Well, I think it's not really no one wants to see it.
Nobody wants to see.
Well,
I don't want to see it.
It doesn't have.
Jack doesn't want to see it.
It's not organic.
The chat room doesn't want to see it.
It's not organic. The Sami Zayn, people really organically got behind Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn has actually been over as a heel and face for the last several years. He's really the most over face right now. The Cody, I can't say isn't over, but it's clearly been built that way, and that's fine. But the problem is now, when you have the baby, when we've seen this historically before, when you have a baby face that the crowd really wants to see go for the title, main event WrestleMania, and you push someone else, what is going to happen? The crowd, I could be wrong, but my prediction is the crowd is really going to turn, which they have a history of doing anyway, turning on Cody, I think for a few reasons. He gets overbearing and they get sick of it. Add on that the guy that they actually want to be in this, Sami Zayn, when they realize he's getting the shaft, that's gonna make the turn even quicker. And I think even if there wasn't anyone turning on him right now, I think it would make the fans turn on Cody once the weeks go by and they know that we're not getting the Sami Zayn match at Mania. For the life of me, I don't know how you would end the Royal Rumble, your second biggest show, with this giant angle. And that's not even the match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd end with that giant angle to do at Elimination Chamber.
Jonathan Jackson in the chat room, God bless you. I love this statement. That creative pie is going to need to sign an NDA.
And this is true. He said no in WWE.
Look at me. Look at how much I love that angle. Oh, I love that. I love that comment, Jonathan. There I go.
He said no in WWE. There's Sammy and Kevin Owens versus the Usos for the tag. Well, I do think we're also going to see one of the Usos turn babyface too.
Yeah, I believe that's what's going to happen.
I know I've seen a lot about rumors. Well, I guess they wanted him, and MLW wouldn't let him out of the contract. Who's the big Samoan guy in MLW? Jacob Fatu.
Oh,
and I don't know. There's rumors that like they won him or something. I
it's
get
shitty if they won't let him.
I agree 100%. Now I get AEW and WWE because they pay people huge sums of money and they can make a living. But if you're MLW, nothing against them, I hope they do well. But if you're paying someone not enough to really make a living and they could get real money, even if you're under contract, you should do the right thing and let the man out of his contract.
Yeah, I mean MLW, they're not. I mean, they're just not a WWE. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And if WWE was wanting him, I mean, that's really wrong if you're not letting him out of his contract. I mean,
yeah, I think.
I know you signed a contract for a reason, but in that case, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think most people would do the right thing. I mean, like back in Ring of Honor, they used to. When they wanted the Kings of Wrestling, they let him out. I heard Cornette was saying when WWE were interested in the Briscoes. They let them go because you always have to give the guys a shot at the big time.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, because the MLW, I mean, you guys have been around for a while, but you're not the big time.
Gogo, I think it'll be a 3-way, and he says that's a mistake. I do too. I'm not a big fan of 3-ways. And honestly, both matches can main event a show. So I wouldn't, I think it's bad for everyone involved if you do a 3-way. I also saw some people with the idea that Reigns would defend one of the titles night one and then defend the other. And I think that's awesome. I think that's a neater idea, but I also think it cheapens of the loss if he loses one title and loses another title.
There's part of me that wants to see the Bloodline storyline play out to the end with Sami Zayn, the whole thing, and see it. Then there's that other part of me that is still loving this perfect storm that's brewing right now, where Cody Rhodes is about to be booed because the fans aren't getting what they want.
I think
it's coming, and I love it. I love it so much. It's going to happen. Cody sitting there. He's like, I love AEW when I get booed.
Then he did a Bullet Club thing, I guess, after when he won the Rumble.
Yeah, he did the gun, like Kenny Omega.
It's didn't he betray all those guys?
And then I guess he's trying to say that they're still boys. I don't think they talk to each other. They're like, we're not boys with you still. Just go away, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm not saying this out of spite of Cody. I do think they will turn on him if they know Sami Zayn. Once they realize if they do go with Cody in the main event, and they see Sami getting just some not a throwaway match, but still it's not the main event of Mania. I think they will turn on.
I'm starting.
It's very similar to the Daniel Bryan stuff. When for a long time they refused to get behind him and they push other people, and it made the crowd turn on everyone else they push. It ruined two Royal Rumbles in a row. Remember?
I'm making the shirts now.
I think they were smart not to put Sami Zayn in the Rumble though, because I think it would have turned the crowd on whoever won the Rumble if Sami was in it and got thrown out.
I'm making the shirts right now, Jack. Let's boo Cody. Oh yeah, let's boo Cody.
And will he in WWE? Will he refuse to turn heel?
Turn heel.
I'll never turn heel.
And he'll just tell the fans that he doesn't want to do it. Then he's at the press conference saying Triple H has no right to be a fan of mine. It's like, shut the fuck up, you. It's like, smash the throne and I like this pitch black Mountain Dew. Barely drinks it.
Steven Simmons, Cody deserves the title. He ended racism after all. It's very true. Will he end racism again?
Nah, I think in his mind he did. I mean, he's like, look at how great I am. No wonder the WWE wants me. Nuts to those AEW fans for booing me. Jeez, I can't wait though. I know it's coming. Oh, they're just going to start booing Cody. Oh, that's going to be so great. Let's boo Cody. All because Vince McMahon, he's dipping that finger in the creative pie. Oh, he's just gonna smash that creative pie one of these days. And he's just gonna be like full on Vince back in the mix. He's trotting out to the ring, no chance in hell. It's coming. It's happening. He's going to live to be 150.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that on the show. We're about to see a new boom era in WWE under my boy Vinny Mac, Vinny Machine.
No, it's all
BKM.
It's all downhill from here.
BKM.
It's all downhill from here. Vince, I'm saying it because he's going to make WWE bad again.
Make
He's gonna
WWE
make-
great again.
He's not gonna make WWE great again. He's gonna make it bad, unwatchable.
I'm a Mava fan. Make
It's like you know all those mentions that
make America
WWE
Vince again.
WWE gave all these nice mentions. That ain't gonna happen when Vince is fully in control. He's like, get out of here, pal. I'm not mentioning nobody on this show.
Oh man, it's
I'm
gonna
an
be so
asshole
good.
now. Where's my Cody? God damn it, I love that Cody. Come here, Cody. You are a vice president of the other company. Now you're my little bitch.
All right, so is everyone else gonna come tonight? Patrick Howell wants to know. We'll
Well,
see, Patrick.
we'll
Apparently,
see.
I don't think Patrick likes either of us.
He did say he said hello to us when he
All
first
right.
came into the chat. So
All right. Well, we are going to take Zoom calls. I'm going to post this. I realize it's a different night and all, so if you can't Zoom in, you know, you won't be dead to me tonight. And other nights, you know, maybe, but all right. So I'm gonna post this in here. We'll take some Zoom calls and then we'll answer the questions. But anything else in the world of wrestling to talk about while I'm posting this for everyone?
anything else in the world of professional wrestling that I would like to talk about? Geez, I know there's something on my mind. I know. I seen a post that AEW's been in business longer than Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I wonder who posted that.
Oh, did you post that? Or was it NL Jones? NL Jones.
And I didn't post it just to get it, just to troll the Cornette fans. But yeah, AEW is in business longer than Smoky Mountain Wrestling. As of I think yesterday.
So yeah, I'd say more people know AEW than Smoky Mountain.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. They always talk about like knowing only like this super hardcore ultra wrestling fans, but who the hell would know Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing, and it's kind of close to me.
Yeah. So they're doing a new. Everyone thought it was the end, but they're doing a new
I think
Dark
you
Side
told
of the
me
Ring.
about it. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, honestly, how I know about it was I was reading the Observer in the 90s, and oddly enough, now like now they hate each other or whatever. But Meltzer would always put it over. He would always trash ECW. I loved ECW. It was my favorite wrestling at that time. And he would trash all the pay-per-views like they were total garbage. And to me, they were like can't miss stuff. And he would just, they were basically the Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks of the day was Smoky Mountain Wrestling to Meltzer. It was always, the best. And then like I remember getting some of the tapes at the time and watching, and I'm not saying it was bad, but I was like, oh, it's like, like ancient wrestling like that I saw as a kid, which is fine. But really at that time, I wanted the new stuff. So in like the early to mid 90s, I think that's why ECW took off so much. People wanted, a true alternative, something new. And that's what ECW was using the music of the time. They were doing violence. They were doing, then they also, not only just the violence, but they also had, that's where, Eddie Guerrero was first and Dean Malenko. They're the first place in America. So you had like the real good wrestling that you weren't seeing everywhere. You had the luchadors, a lot of stuff that WCW then took for Nitro. You also had, that was the beginning of the shoot style promos with Shane Douglas and stuff. So you had all this stuff. You had for better or for worse, some of the stuff's not necessarily for the better. You had a lot of violence towards the women. I'm not saying that's better, but there was stuff you didn't see on regular wrestling. There was stuff that was taboo. So you saw all this stuff. They would talk about other promotions and kind of like, and talk about Eric Bischoff, and you never saw any of this stuff. So this to me was truly like revolutionary. I had never been that attached to a wrestling company. And I said this before, but I think people overlook this aspect of ECW. People really fixate on the hardcore, which is a big part of it, but they think, oh, the ECWs today is, you have to do blood and guts. But really, if you were going to start a company today and you want to emulate ECW, what you should look at is a couple things. One thing is having different product than you could see on the other ones. But the main thing was you were connected to the company itself, which AEW really had at the beginning. TNA had that at the beginning. And you're attached to all the wrestlers. So you were emotionally attached to the company and the wrestlers. That's why to this day, and really throughout all the 2000s, anytime any of the guys who ever had any kind of run in ECW, when they came out, they were instantly over with the crowd, and the crowd chanted ECW because they would love them for the rest of their careers. They wanted to see Tommy Dreamer do well, Rhino do well, the Dudleys, everyone that went through, Sabu, Sandman, all these guys, they wanted to see do well because they loved them in ECW. So anyway, the point was, if you're looking at to take something from the past and do it today, don't say, oh, I want to do, tap these barbed wire death matches and all this kind of stuff. But think of like, how do I connect to the audience? That was a big part of that. So anyway, I loved ECW. And then I would read how terrible the shows were. And that's when I always liked Reed Meltzer, but I didn't always agree with him, which I think is fine to do. It's like I grew up watching Siskel and Ebert, but I didn't always agree with them.
Yeah.
And then, but he would really put over Smoky Mountain. So I got some of the tapes because I was into the tape trading to a degree at that time. And I watch it, and it was the opposite, where ECW was completely new. Smoky Mountain was completely old. So it was like stuff that I had seen before. And that's fine, but not for that time for me. It wasn't the stuff I wanted to watch. I didn't want to watch an old 70s, 80s, like Southern wrestling.
Yeah.
And I liked Crockett. That was what I liked in the 80s. But for that time period, it was the opposite, I think, of what was effective. And it didn't, nothing against it. It's good stuff. And if you loved it, that's awesome. But it definitely did not have the impact in the wrestling business that ECW did. I don't think anyone could like even try to argue that.
No, there's no way. Yeah. I mean, maybe a product like that today, I mean, would be like nice
because
for nostalgia's
in today.
Yeah.
Nostalgia really
back
wasn't
then,
in the 90s.
No, nobody wanted that back then. They wanted something new.
Yeah.
Job's here in the chat room. He thank you for the AEW crate. I appreciate it. I opened it up last week. He says apparently CM Punk wants to work. Talk about it. What? He wants to work at like McDonald's?
What do you see in Punk? I mean, what do you call Cabana? I believe you mentioned this before. I've been saying this ever since the beginning. I'm all about it. They're men. They got into a fight, and I understand it was a serious fight. Let's just put everything aside. I can argue the degrees of who I think's at fault, but everyone is still, at fault to some degree. Stuff happened. Both sides, to me, you're men, you're wrestlers. You do a physical. It's not necessarily real combat, but you do physicality for a living. They've all been injured. Every wrestler ends up with injuries. Punching a guy at the end of the day is not that big of a deal in wrestling. I say put all that stuff aside and work to put on the best show you can. It would help everyone in the company, all the wrestlers, and don't let at this point, don't let your egos and stuff get in the way. Yeah. And so if he's willing to work it out, I hope they at least talk to him and try to figure it out.
Tony Khan, he needs to get the Elite on one side. He needs to get CM Punk and Ace Steel and the Dog, and they need to get in a room, and Tony Khan just needs to look at them and say, look, I know you guys don't like each other, but let's cut the shit. You all got to give each other a handy. Give each other a handy right now.
And then they go and they grab that briefcase of money they gave Roosh, or say, sorry, Roosh. we'll make good later down, but just throw the money in there and like, all right, you guys.
And he's like, Tony Khan's like, all right, now everybody's got to sign an NDA because this shit ain't getting out.
Yeah. So, and
I'm not
the Mr. Macho and stuff, but come on, you're men. You're men. You can apologize and you can get over a fight. I want to see it as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Do it up.
And it's a big black eye on the company. And
I think it would
hurts
help
their appeal in the fans' eyes, tears them apart. Some fans are with CM Punk, some fans are with the Elite. You don't need that. You need it.
Especially if they're both on the show, then it wouldn't matter if some want the other or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would really help the fans' perspective of the show. And Punk's a big draw. I mean,
yeah, he could use a hand.
Merchandise, the pay-per-views, all that stuff. So I know it would make for good TV.
Cody Rhodes is like, oh, people thought my AEW figures was obnoxious. Wait till you see my WWE merch or something. It's like, shut up. He's saying the figure you have. He's saying people talk crap about him. How could you talk crap? Oh, that is kind of annoying. Look at all that. What's he got with it? He's got like 2 pairs of legs and arms.
He's got 2 legs, 2 arms.
Why does he need 2 legs and arms?
In case you want red pants or blue pants. I don't know what the difference in the arms are, though. Aren't they the same?
Is the arms like part of the jacket that he has on, and then like he won't have the jacket on?
Oh, that's possible. I think you could take the jacket off, but it would still be on his arms. So you have to take the arms off and put that. Must be it. Then he's got 2 different waist belts. He's got the American with the red, white, and blue, and then he's also got the Nightmare belt. Then he also has the like a black T-shirt, and then he's got a microphone, and he also has so he has 3 total heads. He's got this one where he just kind of like, and then he's got one where he's going, and then he's got one where he's going. So he can either be going or going.
Seth freaking Rollins says Punk is a cancer. Seth Rollins is saying it too. He wants him to stay away from WWE.
But also people
he doesn't want any competition for that outstanding character that he's doing right now.
Okay, a couple things here, but also you have Ricky Starks, you have FTR, you have Darby Allin, you have Britt Baker, you have all these people who I believe Adam Cole, people who said that Punk was great for the show and for the locker room for them. So you have I do think when you have such a big personality, you're gonna have, that's just the way it is. You're gonna have people say they're good and they're bad. And if you work for the WWE, you can't say anyone's bad for a company when the guy who ran the company was coercing the women to blow them. Which is better? Which is worse for the company? A guy who's sexually assaulting or the women. If if you're a hot woman, you got to blow the old man, or the guy who eats pastries in the scrum.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you can't really say anything. I don't think I know it's a new night here, but
nobody's calling in. No Zoomers.
No Zoomers. They're bitches. What? Lexar went to sleep because he's a little bitch.
What?
Jonathan Jackson, he's probably just scared.
He's scared of all the excitement that we're producing tonight. Damn.
All right. Well, we can
just
get
go to the questions.
Yeah.
All righty. Short show.
Yeah. Just like the bus that the Headyverse rides on. I'm just kidding.
What?
I love the Hittyverse.
No, there he goes. He's trying to make up.
Oh, by the way, I'm a big AEW fan, but this thing came out, and then people look. I'll show you. Now, I have a problem with this.
I like seeing stuff.
I'm not.
Show me,
see,
Jack.
people saying this
Come
AEW
on.
mark, but if something I don't like, I tell everyone.
Whip it out, Jack. Let's see it. I want to see whatever you're talking about.
Now,
Oh,
come on. You
all elite AEW.
come on.
Wrestling together.
Now I said like you can't, and people are, well, Vince McMahon doesn't own the word together, and then other people are like, I never heard WWE. Now come on, don't be a dipshit. You're not gonna pretend. You're not gonna stick your head in the sand and pretend not to know that WWE doesn't say together forever, all that bullshit. Every single show, all their emails, every important tweet, they say it all the time, and we make fun of it. So you can't have a part of AEW that says together on it. I realize they don't own the term, and you can't. They're not going to sue you, but it's a bad look because everyone sees that. And what do they think? Especially the people who already think this because they signed Daniel Bryan and Aleister Black and these guys, and they say, "Oh, they're just the WWE wannabes," and then they're stealing their stupid phrase.
Johnny come lately. Johnny come lately.
Bad look. And this is from an AEW fan. That's a bad look. Don't do it.
Look, Steven's mad enough to call in tonight. Look at him. Look at that man. He is pumped.
Pump it up. Pump it up. All right. Steven, what was going on in the Raw? Yeah, and I also agree with Vicky Guerrero. She tweeted out, I'm tired of hearing Dominic compared to Eddie. He will never be Eddie in any way, shape, or form. It's plain disrespectful. And I also saw Eddie's daughter posted something similar. And I agree. And that started my hatred of the Guerreros. It started my hatred, not Guerreros, I'm sorry. It started my hatred of the Mysterios was when Rey Mysterio just glommed on to all the Eddie stuff, and he exploited his friend's death to become a bigger star in WWE, and I've seen him do it for years, and to me it's sickening. And now his son's doing it, and that's sickening too, especially if the actual man's widow and daughter doesn't like it. So don't be a putz.
Well, he's not trying to be Eddie. He's trying to be.
Yes, he does.
The pussy ass Eddie.
He's got the.
He's being like totally fake Eddie.
He posted a thing on Facebook saying that he gets more and more like him, and was comparing the mullet and stuff.
Because he's working you, Jack.
Yeah, but that man, it don't matter to me. The man's widow sees this and like, what the fuck? You're exploiting the man's death for a stupid WWE storyline. It's not actually related to Eddie, so don't you do that. It's pretty shit.
She's in on it. She's friends with him. She likes it.
I don't think so. I don't like it either. I think it sucks.
She's helping him out. She's trying to get him more
heat. Fuck the Mysterios.
He'll heat, Mom. He'll heat. That's what he wants.
I think they're pieces of shit.
Toronto Stevie. What's up, my man?
Hello.
So what's up in the world of professional wrestling?
Well, I guess if I had done the Raw report last week, I would have gone on one of my little filibustering about Raw 30, but basically it was going to be that I actually enjoyed Raw 30, but
yeah, it was a pretty good show. I liked it overall.
It was like these same guys they keep bringing back week after week, or show after show after show. Whoa.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, Steven, I'm sorry. I don't know why Jack wanted to interrupt you with that one. But...
Raw Report intro. I want to get him to do that and just look up and say, "Welcome to In Your Head." He's getting his ass beat.
He'd probably do it.
What the hell's wrong with him?
Steven, Raw 30 or Raw Triple X. Wasn't there a company trying to sue him because like they didn't like him using the Triple X?
Yeah, I guess if this had been the Attitude Era, they could have really had fun with that. But in the PG era, no, we can't have that. But I enjoyed, like I said, I seeing my old favorites like Ted DiBiase and IRS, and but like they're the same guys they bring back every single time. But eventually, like I mean, like you know, I like the nostalgia stuff, but you got to come back and start try and get some new people. I mean, they keep relying on guys who were wrestling 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's like, although the poker game was fun. I mean, there are some people who are dragging, criticizing about all of the. I mean, and I criticized WWE a lot with a lot of no wrestling and a lot of segments and all that, but it was a nostalgia show and all that. But
Royal Rumble was?
No, the Raw 30.
Raw 30, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Kevin Nash didn't want to show up. He said like he's not doing like TV. He doesn't want to do TV.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Yeah. I saw people were like, "Oh, they should have had him in the Rumble," but do they ever think maybe he doesn't want to be? Like his son died.
He's not.
I'm really sure if he wanted to do something, they would have him on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Royal Rumble, I would characterize Royal Rumble in one word, which was predictable. Like the outcome of every single match. I predicted the whole thing like that.
Did you predict
going to win the women's? Cody is going to win the men's. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight was going to suck, and it did.
Did you predict Uncle Howdy jumping off of the thing?
Never predicted that. Kind of thought he was going to make some sort of
LA Knight was going to take it.
Yeah, Bianca was going to beat Alexa Bliss. Was that all the matches? I can't remember if there was anything more. Oh yeah,
Roman Reigns and Sammy or KO. I mean,
and Roman was going to beat Kevin Owens and Sammy, but that was an incredible finish. I must say that for the Royal.
It was a hell of an angle. That was like one of those moments in wrestling you're going to remember till you're an old man.
My friend Robert Budzinski says that he doesn't really know anything about wrestling, but he says that the Cody Rhodes tattoo, he thought it was of Texas, but it's not. But he says it looks like something a white supremacist would get.
Oh my!
I my only issue with it, honestly, is it's weird to have I know he's got the little tattoo here, but your first tattoo being on your neck is odd. Now, if he had like a whole sleeve up his arm and then they were connected, I don't think it would really be a big deal. It's like you can see tattoos on Undertaker's neck, but he's got tattoos all over him. So it's like, whatever. He doesn't his first tattoo wasn't just a big tattoo on his neck.
I hope when he goes in to have it removed that they turn that laser up all the way to 11, just like zap his whole head off.
I don't know if he's got the tattoo on the figure.
Does he not?
I can't really tell.
Open it up and see.
No.
Okay. Steven?
That was a gift from Bearded Incher.
Is that all you got? Try harder. Bring it on. Is that all you got?
That's awesome. Oh,
I guess
Travis?
pin Sting. Yeah, if you lay him on his back, you hear 1, 2, 3. But if I was Sting, I'd be like, I don't want that feature. It's like people are pinning me. Sting should never be able to be pinned.
He should say, "Don't make me shoot pin you."
Exactly. He should have something on his back where if you lay him down, he after like 2 seconds, he immediately just jumps up.
Not happening today, brother.
That's what my figure would have.
Travis, well, it's good to see you on the show. Anything on your mind?
What's this shirt say? Big what?
Oh, Big Papa. That's my nickname.
Big Papa. Is it Big Papa Pump or just Big Papa?
Big Papa. I used to be an MMA fighter, and that was my name back in the day.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, see, you got a tattoo here. Like, you wouldn't have just put that red on your neck. Like, I could see if you get a whole sleeve, then you work up to the neck.
I realize I can't say this these days, but that would be retarded.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah, it'd be retarded.
It's odd. It's odd that you say that because I was talking to Jackson this morning while I was in the middle of looking up phrases that I've said on Facebook and deleting them. That was one that may or may not have been one of them.
Oh my
Total
goodness.
F of the week.
The total friend of the week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, there we go. Black History Month.
You guys are the best. I just wanted to zoom in since nobody else was, and tell you guys I appreciate everything you guys do.
Hell
Oh,
yeah!
thank you, Travis.
Travis
Good
Sundown,
man.
Rookie of the Year.
That's
Let's
tremendous.
go, Big. I almost said Big Mama. Big Papa. Big Papa.
Big Papa.
Very good. Thank you, Travis. You're a good man. I like the hat too.
Thank you. So my wife, my brother say it's my old man hat. I'm like, it's style. That's what it is. Y'all don't get it. It's style, not an old man.
Yeah, I wear hats like that sometimes. I bought a cool one in Soho.
That's very cool.
I show picture, but Incher doesn't like it when I show pictures of me.
I like pictures of you. Why are you saying I don't like it?
I just like to throw you under the bus once in a while.
Jeez. I'd like to throw you under the tank.
What? Under your taint?
The tank.
Whoa.
Run you over with it. An Abrams tank.
Just
Wow,
kill
you're
ya.
you're a crazy, vicious man.
Yeah.
Why do you want to murder me?
Oh.
Yeah, just show him some love like Tony Atlas has this girl doing.
He loves that. He probably paid her to do that.
I think that's his girlfriend or something.
Well, he has a wife. That's not his wife.
I would assume,
I assume
Jonathan Jackson's a man to ask here. How do you go about asking someone to do that? Do you just
for women? Oh, it's easy. If you tell a woman to punch you in the face, she'd do it in a heartbeat.
Really?
Yeah. Go around and just tell women to punch you in the face.
I'm too lovable.
Has his wife passed on, or I know she was sick for a while. I'm not sure if she's still around.
I don't know
Tony's
if he's
wife.
married still. I don't wonder.
I mean, he says this isn't sexual. Like,
Yeah, sure.
He's got a big hard on.
That's why it cuts him off below. It doesn't show what's going on down there.
He's probably all friggin' Lexarin in his pants.
He says it's not sexual, but I find that hard.
Do you believe that? He might say it, but do you believe it?
No, I don't think I believe it. No, I think there's definitely something up with that. I mean,
I can't find this hat.
I was hoping by zooming in, I'd do as good as Owl did. So I just want to impress everybody, make everybody happy like you did me.
yeah. Al, he's bound to call in one of these days. He'll be back. He'll be back.
I can't wait, Incher. I can't wait. I'm counting the days. That's all I.
Different styles, more of a newsboy hat. But it's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That Incher.
Where's my newspaper? Newsy.
I bought that
That's a nice looking hat. That's a nice looking hat.
Soho. for I think it was like 15 pounds. Pretty
Like
rocking.
Tony Atlas kind of pounds like he's getting right now.
See,
It would have been pretty cool if he had that hat on while he was getting stomped.
hell yeah.
Mhm.
So when I was staying, me and Jason Mitten, we rented a flat, like an apartment, when we were in London the first time. This last time I went by myself, and he actually combed his hair with a fork. Like I'm not joking.
Very Troy McClurish.
I was like, is that what all the hillbillies do? Do you do that when you used to have hair intro? Did you ever comb with a fork?
No, I
That
use a
was
comb.
So what I was gonna say was right by our flat was the pound store. And I kept thinking, what the hell kind of name is that? And I kind of giggled. It took me like a whole week to realize it was the British dollar store, because the pound is $1. And I was like, what the hell? You can't even spend those anymore, though. You can't spend anything over 50. You can't even spend in England anymore.
That's terrible.
I know. I went and got $500 into pounds when I went, because I was going to go for 3 days, and almost no place took cash. It was all paperless. And then it was a week after I came back, because people were even telling me we'll spend the 50s. And then I found out it was a week after I came back, you can't spend 50s. Anything over 50 you can't even spend anymore.
Yeah, how is that very friendly to tourists? Would
You just had to use your credit card.
Yeah.
Would it work? I guess it
Yeah,
would.
but then you got to pay like
A
the
fee
exchange
for a
rate,
foreign.
and then you got to pay like
Yeah.
a fee. And
That's how they get you.
double dipping.
the only place that took it was the casino. So I went and spent all my money at the casino. No, I didn't. I actually brought most of it back, but I did go to the casino. It was fun.
The casino always takes these guys here. They're happy.
Yeah,
with
they
those.
took them.
Yeah, we'll take them. But this is this. I bought this for my daughter's play money.
Oh,
It's-
okay. All right. Well, I didn't know. I thought maybe
I'm honest. I shit. Yeah, I'm not.
thought maybe Big Papa was big in the UK. I don't know.
That'd be like 10 grand here, and I've got another stack next to me that's the same, and it'll say all over it, play money somewhere if you look
Oh,
there.
okay. But so I did go to the movies though, because while we're doing the show tonight, is I went to see the new Batista movie last night, an advanced screening of it.
Was it good?
I really thought Batista is great in it, and I liked it up until near the end, and I don't want to spoil the movie, but it made me hate the movie. I can't really say why without spoiling the movie, but I think it's actually a dangerous message to put out there. I'm not someone who talks that way very much about a movie, but I was not a fan at all of where the movie goes.
Oh,
Have you guys
man.
seen the previews for the movie Cocaine Bear? Like that
Yes,
movie was funny
I'm
as hell.
excited. And today I posted a thing because if I get an advance ticket to it, I get a free pack of gummy bears.
My wife
And
is
maybe wonder if they're laced with cocaine.
You know, the real story isn't anything like that.
Yeah, it just died. But that's
It just
going to be a
died.
very fun movie.
No, but I mean, like,
But my prediction is this is going to lead to a whole bunch of films that copy it. So we're going to have Cocaine Shark.
Cocaine Sharknado.
Yeah, exactly. The meth anaconda. I don't know, but we're gonna see a whole bunch of these, which I'm not totally against. I'm all into Cocaine Shark.
crackhead orangutan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all about Tazo. But I should start making Cocaine Shark. That should be my next movie.
You should just start making cocaine.
You know what? I'll be honest, I've never done cocaine. Maybe I should try it once. Or what do you think?
No, don't try.
Well, I'm in Iowa. I can't say I've tried cocaine either. It's not really prevalent in my neighborhood. I live in a town of 1,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really know where to get it. The people I know who had anything was more like edibles and like hallucinogenics.
Just ask the authorities; they know.
True. I'm sure. I'm sure someone I know would probably. I guess.
Angel Dust Sloth. Sloth on Angel Dust.
I did like ketamine. Ketamine was pretty fun.
Never tried that either.
All right.
You know, Jack, I got like a YouTube ad the other day, and it's this nice looking lady pops up. She looks and she asks, "Do you like getting high, but you don't like the smoke hurting your lungs?" And that's just like a punch in the face to me. It's just like, what is she asking me right now?
It's frustrating. That's
What the
true.
hell?
I actually haven't done anything for a long time, but when I did like the edible, I was doing edibles for a while, but I don't like the smoke, so I would never smoke marijuana, but the edibles were good.
You don't want the smoke.
No, I didn't know.
What the hell is Black History Month? You don't want the smoke?
I stopped getting the edibles because it was when COVID started. I couldn't go to Boston anymore, and that's I can't get them around here. And then so I had ran out, and then I just never got them again. I was like, don't need them.
I like this show because it's about diversity. Like we got 3 honkies here, and then we got the JYD guy to give us like all the stuff we can't understand.
Then we got the High Chief.
I love Jonathan Jackson. He's the man.
Well, I love
you know
too,
what?
Travis.
Jackson's not on camera now because he's getting the Tony Atlas treatment.
Yeah, it's like I can't. I mean, the woman didn't consent to be on camera, so I can't really. I can't get her to sign an NDA or anything.
Man, did we scare off Incher?
He doesn't like the diversity.
He's anti-diversity.
He didn't like when I said honky, apparently. I don't know. It's okay if I say some honky.
Yeah, honky's fine. Anyone who tells you they're offended by honky is just a liar.
I completely agree. Like everybody laughs at every white guy.
Yes, exactly. People try to tell you it's the same as the N word. Well, if it is, why don't we say it's the H word? Because it's not.
It's not like the M word either.
These days, I'm a DJ and I also do karaoke. And we have like a mobile DJ system. And when people get done singing, I'm like, that wasn't bad for a honky. It always kills the crowd. They all just die laughing every single time.
Right.
Nobody's ever been offended in 10 years.
Yeah. Intra might be. He's looking like he's gonna knock some ass.
I'd get up and put my monocle in my eye and walk right out.
I don't know what I used to have a monocle. I can't find
my word. I've never
it never really fit. I think my eye's too small, but I just wore it. I used to wear it because it had a cool chain and I'd put it in my vest to look cool.
I thought you always supposed to squeeze your eye to kind of
but it was too big. It wouldn't even fit. You're supposed to put it like in here, then you put your, but it was too big. It was like this big, so it wouldn't even fit in here for me to put my eye into it.
You know they got contacts now, right?
It wasn't. It was just to look cool.
I know. God, look at that face. He's like wanting to storm my locker room and punch me in the face.
I want to rip that ass.
Oh Lord. Goodness gracious.
All right. So anything else on this Raw report?
He hasn't even started yet.
Oh, I thought he'd finished it.
No. We got to go around the horn and get everybody. And I know he's probably wanting to go to bed, though.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty soon.
It's past his bedtime.
All right. Well, let's get the Raw report quick here. We'll run through it.
Raw report.
Okay, so we got Monday Night Raw. No, it's a bit late, but Monday Night Raw comes to you from some sort of arena in Oklahoma. Well, they were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So Cody comes out and this is a long segment while Cody was actually, and the crowd was on Cody's side. You notice there was like a great chance for Cody. So at least they were on his side, and he was started talking about, what he would tell a 19-year-old Cody Rhodes about, and he went through some of the highlights of his career. What would he tell him? And
that was so sickening. He went through his whole thing. I was like, shut up, Cody Rhodes. He's just an asshole.
No, he was talking about sitting in his Volkswagen Jetta, showing up at, was it Ohio?
Oh, the assholes drive Volkswagen Jettas.
What?
I had a friend who had a Volkswagen Jetta. They're cool, I guess. But I think Dusty could have got him something better than that.
Well, he basically said he was going to show up and he was going to be the next John Cena. He was going to be WWE champion in a matter of a couple of years, and that he was going to. He didn't realize he never would be like dashing Cody Rhodes and giving grooming tips, and he was going to some of these things like being Intercontinental Champion and all of that, and but like I said, the crowd was on his side, and it was a good thing that they, once he did his promo, and even when he mentioned Roman Reigns' name, a spontaneous Roman sucks chant started. So it was great, and also great that they followed this up with the Judgment Day coming out and having an interaction with him. So
yeah, Finn Balor says that Cody ripped off all his stuff. And I'm like, they did? I don't know about that, Finn.
Whatever happened to the face fuck me Finn girl?
I don't know. I'm
think
sure
he ever
somebody
did it?
else, like Finn, didn't act on it. There's somebody else probably fucking that face right now.
Probably.
You missed your opportunity.
I don't know
Finn.
about that. I want to go put together my Legos.
You know, I've put together a few Lego sets as of late. It is pretty
I
fun.
fucked a few faces. All right.
So they called. So they have microphones, and they get on Cody, and I think was it Dominic who called? It's either Dominic or Damian Priest called Cody Rhodes a suck up.
Patrick Howe would love to go out with Rhea Ripley. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Go on. I'm sorry, Stevie.
So they go. So they have a back and forth, and then Cody challenges. Cody challenges someone from the Judgment Day to have a match, and I guess eventually it was going to be Finn Balor in the main event. But then I think it was at the end of this, who gets to show up, who shows up, but Edge came out and got into a brawl with the Judgment Day, and Cody joined in. So you had Edge and Cody Rhodes battling the Judgment Day.
Yeah, that spot they did was weird on the Royal Rumble, where they just both smacked each other's ass. Like, what was with that? What was with that, Jack?
Who? What?
When the New Day, they just did like the flip or whatever, and then they just smacked each other's ass.
I was like, oh man, they stole that. I remember when me and Intra did that at Fan Fest.
You signed an NDA, damn it. Damn. You'll hear from my lawyer.
Uh-oh.
All right. Raw report.
So, but that wasn't the last we saw of those two. But so we have qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. Now this is like I said, I thought they really dropped the ball here. First of all, they have Elimination Chamber matches for the United States title.
What? That's what it's for? The Elimination Chambers for United States title?
Yes. It's gonna be what's his name? Theory defending his US title in an Elimination Chamber matches, and they were gonna have matches to see who was gonna be joining him.
See, this is another reason I think Vince is dipping his finger into that creative pie. He's just going around the surface. He's like, yeah, creative.
An inch is a filthy, dirty
Um,
man.
But he's got Theory. Like, there was a very long segment with Theory, and he's putting him into Elimination Chamber. So, go ahead, Steven.
Who would give a shit about this as an elimination chamber match? Probably nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody.
Exactly.
Vince
What
is
I
like,
think-
Theory's the true champ.
Yeah, it's
And
great. that
and
they're-
if you've already got your plans for the WrestleMania, then just don't do a men's elimination chamber. Do either a women's one or just don't have one this year.
Absolutely, you're correct. That's exactly the way I feel, Jack.
Yeah, that's the problem with the when they have like a pay-per-view that's built around like that big gimmick match. If you don't have like a reason for it, then you're just doing it just for the sake of doing it, and it'd be better just not to do it.
All right, so hey, this is a new setup for me. Do I look and sound okay? Because
Yeah.
this
No, you
is
sound good.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to be sure. Okay, thank you.
So this is why I think instead of having one for the US title, it's great that they've elevated that belt. That's great, fantastic. But I was really expecting an elimination chamber match for the SmackDown title and like having Sami Zayn win it. But they came out and they start off with, it's going to be for the US title. And sorry, but I'm not all that excited about it, about Theory defending his title in an elimination chamber match. But anyway, the first match is Seth Rollins versus Chad Gable. And
Thank you.
yeah, a great match. I mean, it was good. Again, the match is fine. Seth Rollins, of course, gets the win. He actually he hit a pedigree. I think this one he hit a pedigree to get the win instead of the stomp. So he's the first person to qualify for the elimination chamber match. Next up we get Io Sky defeating Candice LeRae. I think it was
Mhm.
Io Sky. Yeah, got the win.
Yeah, I think it was the US guy.
Yeah.
Candace ain't
Now-
winning anything since she came back. She's just like the new job girl.
That
Go
was
out there
another-
and job.
Actually, you reminded me of something. Another thing I could have ranted on. Did you notice at one point in the Royal Rumble, I think there was like about a dozen girls in the match.
Mhm.
And I swear to God, at least half a dozen of them all looked the same,
Oh
like,
yeah.
including Candace. They all kind of looked the same. They all kind of dressed the same. Like, everybody had different color, multicolored hair and weird outfits.
Mhm.
I mean, they're all generic. They're all the same.
Absolutely correct.
What? The one had the certain color hair.
But
I personally like the different color hair, but when everyone has it, it does. I've been saying this for years because I remember they're not before they had a lot of women there for a while. All of them had different color hair though. And but anyway, the point is, if everyone has it, like it, the person who has it doesn't stand out anymore.
Mercedes Monet, her hair's on fire.
I mean, I like if I saw her and she just had like regular hair, it wouldn't be like right. So
Fire.
okay, here's another rant.
But yeah.
I've got a lot of rants here, and here's another one. Rhea Ripley comes out to announce who she's going to face at WrestleMania. I thought this was a huge mistake. I did not want to see another Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair match.
But she's gonna put her in her place.
Yeah, she says that's her whole reasoning for choosing Charlotte Flair. Charlotte,
good to
I'm
me.
going to put you in your place. And I thought this was a mistake. I thought she should have chosen Bianca Belair. It's a match we haven't seen before. She's on Raw. They're both on Raw. It makes perfect sense for Rhea to choose Bianca Belair and win the match at WrestleMania. Unless, of course, the post-Mania plan is for Rhea Ripley to move to SmackDown and maybe in a draft or something, or just win the belt and move to SmackDown.
That'll break up Judgment Day, though.
Yeah. Unless they move the whole faction to SmackDown or move Dominic to SmackDown.
Yeah, he needs his mommy.
Dominic to SmackDown. And have Rhea and Dominic there because Rhea is already in SmackDown on SmackDown. But I thought it was a mistake. She chooses Charlotte Flair.
I'm gonna get Incher. I need my Jackie shirt.
Besides Jack, that's his dad. Why can't a boy be like his dad?
Who?
Dominique. That's
Be
his
like
dad.
who? Bray Mysterio? Because he's like 5'2".
No, Eddie Guerrero's his dad. Don't roll your eyes at me. You know it's true.
They're just exploiting this dead dude.
You know it's true.
You're like, this guy's more over than us. We'll just talk about him forever.
Is it possible to order an IY8 shirt these days?
There are some on Amazon. I'll get the link up after the show.
Please do, because I'll order one, Jack. I love the show.
I want to get some new logos up too. Some new
Lucy's
designs.
like, I don't need a shirt.
Oh.
Bam. Fuck shirts.
Fuck clothes in general.
I'm wearing like old hillbilly style long johns. It's like the waffle.
I'm new right now.
The goose is loose.
You wear
Lucy-
those, Incher?
How much of your day is, I don't wear long underwear normally. How much of your day are you in your underwear? Like
Me?
Me, maybe like an hour total.
Like an hour?
Yeah.
Do you
Just
sleep
while
in
you're
just
listening in your
underwear,
head?
or do you
I sleep in my underwear while I listen in your head.
Okay.
Yep, I only put on my underwear when I'm going out, then I take it off.
Yeah.
You don't wear underwear during the day?
I mean, if I'm going out in the day, sure.
You just, oh man, you're just sitting around in the nude?
Well,
With
no,
your
I have on
balls, like,
pants, but
bouncing
just
on your
no
pants?
underwear, you know?
Man, you
I
getting
work
all
with
this-
the
his
I work with
jeans
the
are all
public.
skid marks.
Yeah.
I work with the public, so I can't exactly pull it out.
I've got long underwear on too, and sure, I'm a cold man since I lost weight, so I've got many layers of clothes.
Yeah, plus
I
you're
work
in your
from- I
basement
work from
too.
home, I'm naked all
No,
the
I
time.
mean even when I'm not in the basement, I get cold easy.
Yeah.
Hey, I decided to do you guys a favor because I work from home. I'm naked all the time. I put clothes on for you guys. I thought you'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I got
okay.
man.
I got my Dom
Clothes-
out.
Clothes aren't required for in your head.
Yeah, look at me and Goosey.
Unless
Yeah.
I got my little heater down here by my feet.
Mhm.
clothes are required unless you're Tazo.
Yeah, Goosey's trying to get an early lead on the headies.
Yeah.
Okay, Incher, real quick question. If anyone from the Headyverse, any male, because everyone's to say, a certain person here, especially, and I don't want to get Patrick Howell too excited, but if any male gets nude this year, like Tazo, and would even one up Tazo, which I'm not condoning, who would you want it to be?
William Moray with his
Hell
videos.
Yeah.
His videos where he's like jumping around and stuff. And you see
Dancing.
him doing
And
that
he always takes the
nude.
camera and he starts putting it on like near his crotch and stuff.
Mhm.
Weird.
What the hell?
Get some William Moray.
That or he shakes his ass right in the camera.
Great.
He's a very active man on the Twitter and YouTube. He posts like 10 videos a day.
If there's anybody from the Headyverse that I'd be almost curious to see naked would be Lexar.
Well, I have
Well.
seen that actually.
I want to see what those strippers are looking at, thinking
Well, he's
this
fully
man's
clothed.
gonna give me
but,
his money.
Yeah.
one day he's hoping he can get naked in front of some strippers.
All right.
Yeah,
Who's your highway says RIP Jimmy Jam.
For sure. Jimmy Jam, much love.
Yeah. And
Miss
we're
you.
not here to exploit Jimmy Jam like the Mysterios. We're here to pay tribute. All right.
It's his dad.
Steven Butler.
That's his
Okay,
dad.
that-
He even
Fuck
said,
the Mys-
I'm your
Fuck
poppy."
Rey Mysterio. Fuck Dominic Mysterio. I think I like Dominic better than Ray. I do like him as the now that he's a hardcore prisoner.
Ex-con Dom. Yeah. Okay, so everyone. So
The
everyone's
hell, now Winter's offended at that. He's like,
No,
do not make fun of ex-convicts.
I'll be back.
okay. So everyone's favorite announcer, Kathy Kelly, is with Seth Rollins. And,
Even when he covers up, he starts losing. He's probably watching porn. As well.
You caught him.
so
Go on.
everyone's,
Sorry.
everyone's favorite announcer, Kathy Kelly. Well, my favorite announcer. She's with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins just basically says, "I'm going to win the Elimination Chamber match." She asks him about Logan Paul eliminating him at the Royal Rumble, and Rollins just walks away. So it looks like we might be getting a future match of Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul later on. Next Elimination Chamber qualifying match: Johnny Gargano with Dexter Lumis at ringside versus Baron Corbin with JBL. At one point, Dexter Lumis somehow has an axe, and he basically just destroys JBL's hat. This distracts Corbin, who tries to do the end of days on Johnny Gargano, but Johnny Gargano turns the tables on Corbin and sneaks out a pinfall. So the winner of the match and entering the Elimination Chamber match is Johnny Gargano. So that was not really a bit of a surprise, because Corbin has maybe won one match in the last 3 months. I mean, it's like he's just basically a glorified jobber. Okay, next up we get the VIP lounge with Austin Theory, and Theory basically cuts a good heel promo here. The target of his promo was Bobby Lashley, since MVP was there. And so Bobby Lashley comes out, and he attacks Austin Theory, and he's got all the with the VIP lounge, they had all these couches in the way, so Bobby Lashley had to get all the furniture out of the way, and he goes to try to spear Austin Theory, but Theory throws MVP in the way, and so Bobby Lashley accidentally spears MVP, and Theory takes a powder and gets out of there. So next up you have Byron Saxton interviewing the Judgment Day, and they talk about that opening segment where Edge came out, and again, Byron Saxton just has no charisma at all. I don't know why they keep him around. I
didn't know he was still around.
Yeah. But they basically, this is where they announce that the main event tonight would be Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor. So next up we get The Miz is out, and he's in a double-breasted suit, a $10,000 suit, which was a gift from his wife, and he basically complains about getting tossed out, the first person to be tossed out at the Royal Rumble. And so after all of his complaining, he's interrupted by Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce comes out and basically says he wants to introduce the newest member of the Raw roster, and also is going to be Miz's opponent tonight. And out comes Rick Boogs. Rick Boogs.
Oh, I thought you said Rick Rude for a second.
Whoa.
No, actually,
back from the dead.
I'm a big fan of Rick Boogs.
Now that Ezekiel is gone, you could call Rick Boogs the Ultimate Boogs, because he kind of was dressed like the Ultimate Warrior, and
I like Rick Boogs.
Yeah, almost was doing like an Ultimate Warrior gimmick because Pierce makes a match. Like, he basically tells Miz he's gonna have to wrestle in his $10,000 suit. And so Boogs actually at one point actually hit an Ultimate Warrior move where he picks up the Miz and then just dropped him. But anyway, he easily beats the Miz in a couple of minutes. So the winner in his return match, Rick Boogs. So next up was a short backstage segment where you had the Maximum Male Models and Maxine Dupree, or whatever her name is, Maxine. They're just kind of standing there and they see Otis and Chad Gable walking by. And the Maximum Male Models are kind of disgusted by Otis, but not Maxine. Maxine takes one look at Otis and says, "Perfect." And I just have this feeling we're gonna be treated to Maxine trying to make Otis a Maximum Male Model. I mean, that's just look forward to that, I guess. Okay, so next up we get Bailey is in the ring, and she cuts your basic heel promo on Becky Lynch, and then Becky Lynch comes out, and they go back and forth. But basically, Becky Lynch wants another match against Bailey, and Bailey is basically saying no. So Becky Lynch responds by, I think it was Dakota Kai. She brings out Dakota Kai from the back, and Dakota Kai has a steel chair wrapped around her leg. And so Becky basically threatens to break Dakota Kai's leg unless Bailey says yes to a steel cage match. So Bailey basically says, yes, you have your match, you have your match, you have your match. So we are gonna get a steel cage match between the two coming up. Next up, we got I think it was another qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, and it's but first I think Kathy Kelly was with Adam Pearce, and he makes the steel cage match, and it's going to be on for next week's Raw. So we don't have to wait too long for that steel cage match. So now that, and he also has another announcement to make, which was now that Charlotte Flair is gonna defend the title against Rhea Ripley for the Raw title. He announces, Pierce announces that the final four of the Royal Rumble, which was Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Raquel Rodriguez, they are the first four to qualify for an Elimination Chamber match to determine who's going to face Bianca Belair. So I think it's great that Raquel is getting the shine. I hope she wins. But there's going to be two more. I guess there's going to be two more that are going to qualify, and the first match will be next week. Will be a fatal four-way between Piper Niven, the former Doudrop.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that she dropped the Doudrop name, which
Candice LeRae.
I know Jonathan Jackson was into it.
Devastated.
Yeah. Mia Yim, and the return of, guess who returned to Raw? None other than Carmella, but we'll get to Carmella. So he's interrupted by Chelsea Green, who I guess set out a new record for the quickest elimination in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So Chelsea Green basically comes out and basically tells Adam Pearce she wants a private dressing room. She wants some Swiss chocolate. So she tells Adam Pearce, go get me some Swiss chocolate. So next up, we get another rather waste of time promo between Mustafa Ali and Dolph Ziggler, followed by another qualifying match. Bronson Reed destroyed Dolph Ziggler. Bronson Reed's his call up from NXT, because you might not know who he is. I really didn't know who he was until they mentioned, oh yeah, NXT. Bronson Reed hits that tsunami. He basically jumps off the top rope and does a splash onto his opponent, and they call it the tsunami, I guess. And Bronson Reed just destroys Dolph Ziggler and qualifies for the Elimination Chamber match. Next up is the return of Carmella. So Carmella is back.
I like Carmella.
Yeah, she's she looks a little different than when she left, but she's interrupted by Asuka, and for some reason Asuka has purple eyes, probably contact lenses, and it basically.
No, I think her eyes turn purple.
And Carmella's just disgusted by this. So Rick Boogs. Next up, we get another backstage segment with the Street Profits, Elias and Rick Boogs. They're being interviewed by Byron Saxton, and they basically announced that next week, in qualifying matches, Angelo Dawkins will take on Damian Priest, while Montez Ford will take on Elias. So those are the qualifying matches for next week for this Elimination Chamber match. And finally, we get the main event: Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor. These two, I thought they had a great match as well. You had the other Judgment Day guys who were out there: Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. So this time out, you had the return of Edge, and Beth Phoenix comes back, and they do these double spears. I really like the spear that Edge did on Dominic, just took him out. And Rhea Ripley tries to jump on Edge and beat him up, but then Beth Phoenix comes back and she spears Rhea Ripley. Meanwhile, this distracts Finn Balor, and so Cody hits 3 consecutive crossroads on Finn and then pins him 1, 2, 3. So this certainly looks like they're not only it makes Cody strong, but at the same time they were advancing the other storyline of Edge and Beth Phoenix taking on the Judgment Day. So it certainly looks like there could be some sort of mixed tag coming up. I kind of want to see Edge and Beth Phoenix take on Dominic and Rhea Ripley, and they can win the match. They could pin Dominic, and they don't have to pin. They don't have. I mean, Beth can probably beat up Rhea Ripley and get her revenge for the concerto that Rhea hit on did to take her out, and Edge can get his revenge, but without making Rhea look weak. So but that was Monday Night Raw. Is it midnight now? Oh, it's really late. I gotta get to bed.
All right. So what would you give Raw? Big thumbs up?
I give it a thumbs up. Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. It was okay,
I remember Jackson was messaging me all yesterday how much he was loving it, or Monday, I mean.
Oh yeah, I was like, look at Cody having to hit all these crossroads. Just wait until he has to hit 15 on Roman.
Well, so anyway, it's really late. I've got to get to bed and get up early tomorrow. So I got to review and run. So have a good night, and I'll catch you guys.
Good night, Stevie. Stevie.
Thank you for the Raw report.
Stevie.
Bye-bye.
Steven Butler.
Raw report. Boom. Anything on your mind, Goosa?
The only thing on my mind is that I am making my wrestling debut this weekend.
Really?
Yes. I know the guy who's running an outlet. So according to this would put Jim Cornette's Outlaw Mud Show to shame. But he asked me if I could wrestle for 10 minutes. And I'm wrestling none other than Wild Bill Irwin.
Really?
Okay, you can't make it up. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. What the fuck? For $500? Sure, why not?
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Man,
I'm
he's
doing
gonna
the job.
stretch your ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be losing to the goon, baby.
And make sure you hit a Canadian destroyer.
Call it in the ring. Well, that's very cool.
So
Oh, man,
there will be video. I will share it to the IYH group.
What are you going to be wearing? You got
Nothing.
gear?
Nothing.
You're going to be wrestling Bill Irwin in the buff?
Oh damn.
Rock and roll Cuck Zumov coming at you live.
You missed it. Goosey's going to be wrestling Wild Bill Irwin this weekend.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
cool.
Some guy.
Look, Intra's really fucking pumped about it.
I am.
Oh, I just
He can't believe it.
What do you think about this, Intra?
Oh, big yeah. That's with Travis there. Yeah, I like it. That's good.
Yeah,
This is
so-
a star-studded podcast. We got Travis, the former MMA guy, and now we got Goosey, the indie star.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be, yeah.
Goosey's
Doing
the man.
Canadian Destroyers,
Goose
yeah.
is loose. He's the man.
The
Yeah.
goose is loose. Yeah. Duck, duck, goose.
We're gonna win with the stink face. Let's ride.
Yeah, damn. All right, Intra. You ready for the
Sure.
Hey,
questions?
Did
can I do
Steve?
you guys do one thing first?
What?
Hey, here's my. All right, so I'm going to go on to something here like nobody will ever talk about. But there is this guy on Jim Cornette's podcast, Brian Last. Everybody knows who he
Oh, that
is.
fucking
Talking about
cocksucker.
the biggest kiss ass in the world. All this guy does is lick Jim Cornette's butthole.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything
Yeah,
he says and back him up. No contrary opinion. And I'm just like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. And I don't hate Cornette, but I
Uh-huh.
don't like the podcast because this guy just goes along with whatever he says. He, like, Jack, if you were the guy, or if I was the guy, I'd be like, hey, here's a different viewpoint. And guess what? You can't do that because Cornette will fire your ass and you're done. You know, but I'm like, fuck, it doesn't, just because he says it don't mean it's right.
Yeah, right. And that it makes it more interesting. Now, people can agree, obviously, but it makes it more interesting if people like disagree on something and talk about it.
Yes.
Like Intra, like, you know, he doesn't just kiss my ass and just be like, "You're out, Jack." You know, see a Punk. We have debated the Punk thing to death on the show. It would be very fun if we just came on and every time we just had the exact opinion on Punk and Hangman Page, the total friendly cowboy.
You guys are at your best when you guys are disagreeing, honestly. Like, it's
Yeah, we're fighting about cages and
the big blue cage.
when it's just dreaming up stuff that never happened.
I never dream up anything that didn't happen.
Remember when he used to eat like a child? I remember hearing about
Whoa.
That did happen. 100%.
I remember
100%.
hearing about it.
Spec Son backs me up. God bless him.
They
He
said
was-
you got Mandela affected. Like they were saying how manly you were eating, and now you're thinking about.
So, I've been telling
I
Intra
was
this off the
eating
air. I
like
don't
a
think I've ever
child.
mentioned it on the air, but my farts really smell like beef stew lately.
What a thing to tell
The
Intra.
fuck?
So I
like
thought
this hasn't been like a 1 week thing either. This has been
no, it's
like
not all the
months in
time,
the
but I go
making.
through cycles where it smells like a fine beef stew. So I was thinking at the Headyverse intro, I thought of a game. It would be beef stew or farts. And so it's like you and Jason Minton and pick another one, Dobbs, maybe Mike Bessler, and the three of you are blindfolded, 2 of you get a big bowl of beef stew, and 1 of you, I just fart in their face. And then, but you're blindfolded, so you have to guess. Everyone has to guess which one has the beef stew and which one has the fart.
Spoiler alert, it would be me that gets the fart.
What? No, it'd be random.
Yeah.
But you might think it's beef stew. is what I'm
I
saying.
can see you right now. Like you'd be like the Terminator, just like blast ensure.
Is this like
No,
the
but
piss
then you'd be
or
like, my God, he's right. It is like a really fine beef stew.
is this like the piss or apple juice challenge?
Eee.
Yeah, that'll be Lexar with Piss Jug McGee.
Now, do they refrigerate the piss? Like, do they make it where it's not
Like,
body
yeah, this is
temperature?
clearly one's warm.
Yeah, fermented.
The hot
Right.
apple cider is good.
Uh-oh, or is it hot piss?
Or
is it
is
hot?
it? See, I think this would be a fun game at HeadyCon.
This is gonna be this is a
What
good
the
shit.
fuck?
All right, so question number 1.
You might have to refresh for that one.
Oh, really? All right. It's not beef stew or farts.
Yeah.
Are we talking homemade beef stew or like Dinty more the shit you get?
Or Dinty, like a can of Dinty Moore.
Goosey's going granular on this. That's great.
Now I'm inquisitive. We need to know what exactly is
By the way, congratulations to Mike Bessler. He won the women's Royal Rumble contest. He'll get his own little 8-bit. And I can't believe it. Steven Simmons won it 2 years in a row. That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
That's like 1 out of 900 chance.
He's getting either lucky or this thing's rigged.
How's it possible?
Crazy.
Yes.
All right. Jonathan
So you
Jackson
just
wants to
gonna
know.
copy and paste the picture from last year and put it into this year.
He's going to have red tights this time. Last he had blue.
Oh, okay. Just changing color over the time.
Yeah. I'll pull a Mario Mancini. I'll be like, oh no, it's a totally new picture. Jonathan Jackson, WWE was going to name Sheamus and Drew McIntyre Banger Bros, but change it because a porn site was named Bang Bro. Are you shocked?
No.
I got to agree with Beef. There's too much of the word banger.
Yeah. It's already starting to wear on me. Just like, yeah, I've heard this word.
Gonna
too
be a
much.
banger.
But then
It always
this
sounds
last week on
weird.
SmackDown, they called them the Bangers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had but they had like the other people in the crew too. It wasn't just Sheamus and Drew. It was Butch and Ridge Holland. He was with them.
It's
And,
funny as hell to me.
Where are they? They weren't in the Rumble. Where were they?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with them. Like, why have they been pushed out of the group? I mean, that's kind of what made up the group. Made it good.
Jonathan Jackson, did we win the Wednesday Night War? Booyah!
We are
Boo!
victorious.
Ah!
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Who used to be on Wednesday nights during the One Wrestling days?
Yeah. But wrestling got like where it was on like every single night of the week. And so we had to pick a night
What
where
was?
it wasn't on, and then they're like, now NXT. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it was hard. Then we were on Friday nights. I always thought was the worst night we were on. That was rough.
Friday. Did we do Friday for a while?
Yeah.
Mhm. Probably was.
Rick Chandler. Will the fans turn on Cody, and how long will it take? I think so, for lots of reasons. One thing, fans do tend to turn on anyone who's pushed as a babyface, rightfully so or not. They do. Sometimes not rightfully, I don't think.
Yeah.
Even though I am a Cody guy, I do like Cody. I've been a Cody fan for forever. he does. He can be very overbearing, and it's hard to cheer him after a while. And I do think Sami Zayn is so over, and if they don't put him in the main event at Mania, and the fans realize they're not getting the guy they want, I do think that's gonna make them turn on whoever's in that spot.
Cody.
It's very similar to when Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson at the time was moving up, and the crowd turned on whoever like they were pushing besides. So I mean, we'll see, but there's a few reasons there I do think it will happen. Travis Sandow, what is better right now in wrestling than the Bloodline storyline? Honestly, I said earlier, I think it's just the perfect all-around thing. Everyone involved in it is great. That was one of the best angles I've ever seen in wrestling.
Yeah.
Same here. Absolutely. I think that this is like long-term storytelling. This is super cool. You know, if you're a wrestling fan that's been, I'm 47. I've been watching for a long freaking time, and this is probably the coolest thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, you know, it's up there with like the original NWO storyline was, you know, it's hard to beat that. You know, then they never really had a real payoff to it down the line, but yeah, it's great. Really well acted, which you don't really see in wrestling very often, even for stuff that I like. Nikhil Callahan. Dan Lambert, who is never short of opinion, on AEW television, explained why he was not a fan of either Brandy or Cody Rhodes. He played the politics game better than anybody in history and sucked up the Tony Khan man and got his way all the time. What the hell is a chief brand officer? What does that even mean? That is true. I don't really, and they didn't replace her, so it must not have been something that was useful.
Important.
Yeah.
Who was the chief brand officer in WWE for a while?
Oh, really?
No, I mean, who was it? Like, I think maybe Stephanie or something. Like,
I think it was Steph,
it's definitely a made-up title to give to somebody.
Yeah,
a relative.
You're the chief brand officer of In Your Head. Okay, for now on.
Hell yeah.
I will promote IYH by getting the logo tattooed on my belly.
Yeah.
Boom.
I think we should all the Headyverse should all get matching tattoos, like the cast of the first
interest based on our left butt cheek.
No. The Riot Squad, or what was their name?
Oh, the Riot. Yeah, when they got the date.
They got the date.
Don't let someone know that, because then they'll just fire you.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, you've got a tattoo for your group. Okay, well,
Tensile go right into the box.
Mm-hmm.
NXT Vengeance Day prediction. So we have Katana Chance and Caden Carter versus Fallon Henley and Kiana James.
Oh,
I don't know who these two. I don't watch this. I don't know, but it's for the NXT Women's Championship. I think I'm gonna go with Katana.
I'll go with James.
Flawless victory.
Whoever has the fan site, I'll go with.
You know,
Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes. Oh wow! So Apollo Crews is back in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Apollo because I know who he is.
I'm gonna go with Carmelo Hayes.
Sure.
The New Day, who are the NXT Tag Champs, are defending versus Gallus, who is Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, versus Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson.
New Day.
All those teams.
New Day.
Chase University, which is Andre Chase and
New
Duke
Day.
Hudson.
I'm going New Day.
Is it a gauntlet match?
Fatal 4-way. I got my New Day right here behind me.
Chase University.
Wesley's defending the NXT North American Championship versus Dijak. I want
I'll go-
Dijak. I like
I'll
that.
go with Dijak. I know who that is.
Yeah, at least they gave him his name back.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker defending the championship versus Grayson Waller.
I'll go Braun Breaker because I know who Scott Steiner is and Rick Steiner.
Braun Baker's really good though, so
I haven't really seen anything.
they
he's
gotta
done.
get him on the show eventually here.
Yeah, they gotta get him off that NXT. Put him on
Look-
something that people actually watch.
I have no problem with the women main eventing at times, but sometimes I think they just go out of their way to put the women in the main. I know you shouldn't say that kind of stuff, but Braun Breaker is like the star of NXT. Shouldn't he be the main event?
Now that you say that, they're gonna move him up, but he's just gonna be on main event.
Baby. Roxanne Perez defending the title versus Gigi Dolan and JC Jane.
Yep,
I'll go
relatable
G.
names.
G. Dolan.
Who
I'm
was
going with
Priscilla Kelly?
Roxanne Perez.
You know, I'm just picking whoever I know or whoever like I can remember their name to repeat.
I'm gonna go with JCJ.
I did research into my
fuck?
picks.
Do I have to hit the kill in the head with a rock that says, "We do not watch NXT. We don't know any."
What is your favorite
more."
memory of Katana Jones?
Are you intrigued?
Question 3. Big Con, formerly known as Connor. I thought maybe it was like some Crowder guy or something. Formerly Connor in WWE assigned a new multi-year contract with Impact.
Boy, howdy.
Hell
Oh, man.
yeah.
That's cool.
I think Impact is going to have a new boom period under the Big
Yeah.
Con era.
That way he can't be seen for years. Everybody will love that.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Big God.
Which one was he? He's the smaller guy?
No, he's
Oh,
that's
really?
Victor you're thinking of.
Oh.
From the Alkali. No, what was her name?
What
What was her name?
This is fucking
Oh, really?
Ascension.
What happened?
Ascension.
Yeah. I knew that wasn't right when I was saying it. I was like, wait a minute. Reverse that.
A former WWE star is officially signed with Impact. Last year's Bound for Glory event, Dirty Dango, formerly Fandango, made his debut for Impact Wrestling as a surprise opponent for Brian Myers for the Digital Media Championship.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You can't have a digital. That's look, there's a lot of useless belts in wrestling. The
It's
All
an
Atlantic,
NFT, Jack.
but
They don't
that's
even
got to
gotta
be the
carry it
worst
around.
belt I've ever heard of.
It's on the blockchain. It's on the
So-
blockchain.
Digital Media Championship. What the fuck?
Did you see who Impact is trotting out as authority figures now?
Santino, yeah.
Santino, and then
I'm a big Santino fan.
they brought back Ernest the Cat Miller on
Hell
Thursday night.
yeah. That
Where the
actually has
fuck
me
did
more
they get him
interested
from?
than these other people.
Yeah.
He
I'd
and
rather see
Santino
them
were
than Big Con.
Ernest the Cat Miller, Big Con, and Santino. Impact's
And,
making
and Johnny
moves.
Swinger. Hell yeah. I saw Barry Horowitz was on there too.
Yeah, Dirty Dango.
Cody
You
Rhodes
think
said
Barry
he was,
Horowitz is going to come out with Subway all the time?
he's gonna
Like,
get Impact
so-
sponsored.
If they have a Subway on the pole match, he is winning that one.
oh yeah, he's gonna
Coming
shoot
in.
win.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes said he was treated really well by current WWE CEO Nick Khan and executive director Bruce Pritchard during his injury.
Listen, that kiss
Well,
ass.
I mean,
Kissing ass.
it's possible he probably was, but what else do you expect him to say? Like he's gonna say they treated me like shit. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure they did. They had him win the Rumble stuff, so sure they treated him. Seth Rollins said this about CM Punk. We talked about this earlier. He called them the cancer. The thing is, I think, and I mentioned this earlier, but I think anyone that is very outspoken has people that hate him and love him. because a lot of people actually also said he was good.
Ric Flair made up with Seth Rollins. He came up and apologized to his wife, Becky Lynch. And he was like, I'm sorry.
You know, he just did that so he could try to get a job.
I'm
Ric Flair's
sorry.
the
We're
biggest bitch
good.
wrestler, in my opinion. He's friends with you for 10 minutes, and if you don't
Yeah,
like him,
you
10
can't
minutes,
trust him. He's
Exactly.
he's only friends with you if he can get something out of you. I really wish I knew nothing of Ric Flair outside of wrestling. Because I grew up loving Ric Flair, but the more I know of the guy, and anytime I hear him talk and stuff, I'm like, God, I can't like this guy.
Yes, sir.
The
I
bidding
think there's a lot
war.
of wrestlers would be better off just not being on social media or talking on podcasts.
The bidding war for Flair's acceptance of you. Like if you pay him more, he loves you. If you don't pay him more, he hates you.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever have a falling out with Conrad
Yes,
if Conrad loses the money? Maybe.
it's going to happen.
Well, he's already had one before. They had the Woo podcast, and he dropped out then, and Conrad was pissed about that before he
really?
started everything else, you know. And then, like, he brought him back in, and now Ric Flair's being a retard to everybody, you know, like just dumping on everybody, just being an idiot, you know, like just making nothing but enemies, in my opinion. I mean, that's just my thoughts, but I don't know at all. That's just what I think.
Yeah. Anytime I see anything, I agree. It's a lot of it's just like stupid stuff. It was Christian Bale's 49th birthday. What is your favorite film of Christian Bale? Probably the Dark Knight, the one with the Joker.
let's say Dark Knight.
I'll say American Psycho to be different.
No, it's a good movie too. I interviewed the writer.
But I do like The Dark Knight pretty well.
I like most of his movies. Well, he's always good. You don't know if all his movies I like, but he's always good in everything. The Machinist.
Prestige.
Cody wants to bring back the Winged Eagle belt. Will it happen? It's weird because that wouldn't have been the belt his dad would have won anyway, though.
Yeah.
The one because then he'd say about his dad held the belt. You know, that would have been the 70s. The Winged Eagle belt was Hogan's belt in the 80s.
I'll be back. I gotta go do something.
Mention the Winged Eagle, and Incher's gonna go, rub one out.
Even though they bring the Winged Eagle back, does it matter? Because most fans beyond you and me, Jack and Jonathan, and people you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have no clue what they don't have no clue what it is. You know,
I agree. I don't really like that kind of stuff. It's just like nostalgia, just for the sake of nostalgia. Like what's the significance? And because he thought it looked cool, what connection is it to Cody? It doesn't even make any sense. At least when he did the promo and his dad, he has that picture where his dad held the title. At least if he said, I want to bring that one back, it would at least have some kind of sense. Kevin Nash was offered an appearance at WWE Raw 30, but he turned it down because he doesn't think he would have fit. Honestly, I think it's because his he's grieving from his son dying. That's very understandable.
I feel like he's in a bad spot mentally. You know,
Yeah.
this is a podcast, and I can tell he hurts, and
Yeah.
it sucks for him. You know, but I mean, I understand. You know, it's a rough deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's hard because then when he is honest about it, he talked about it, then people, did the wellness check, but he's just really saying his honest beliefs, and I understand what he's saying. I like Sean Oliver, but I don't know if doing a podcast right now is good for the guy either. I don't.
It seemed like he was exploiting him. I mean, that's my thoughts. That's just exploiting a situation. And I don't think it was good for anybody involved for that to be released. That could have been cut out. You know, nobody needed to hear that.
I actually agree. I don't really like that was out because it really feels like you're using it to get hits. And Conan recently defended his decision to book controversial stars like Marty Scurll for AAA. Here's the thing about Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll did that with a girl in England. I think that's a legal age. Am I correct or I'm incorrect? Yeah, the thing is, it is legal in England, so I don't think it's right to really condemn someone for something that wasn't illegal where they were. Jason Jordan acted as one of the producers for both Royal Rumble matches this year. Were you impressed? Yeah, okay. He's a weird guy that like he never really did much in wrestling, not because he wasn't good, but he wasn't, around very long. It's a weird guy to get that like spot as a producer. I used to think AEW's tag division was stacked. Now I don't think so. What do you think? When you go to the Acclaimed, yeah, it's not quite as stacked as it was, but some of the teams that were really you just don't see currently, like FTR. You don't really see the
bitch, in my opinion. That guy, Dax is a whining bitch, in my opinion. That
I
guy.
agree. I think that's another guy I think would be better off if you never heard from the. I think the more you hear of him, I think that's why he, people don't want to. I think people don't really want to be around him because he seems like. So when he first said the stuff about the Click guys, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of shitty, but then he says like, Colt Cabana made fun of his accent, and I'm like,
Whatever.
That's like a real. So then it made me think. I think the Click guys were just friendly, joking around with him like you do with buddies, and he just took it super personally because he seems to take everything like this super personal knock on him.
He seems to be super sensitive, in my opinion. It's just I don't understand that. And I've listened to every episode of his podcast. I'm done with it now. I actually unsubscribe because all he does is just bitch and whine about everything, and that's not what I want to listen to a podcast for.
Yeah, and I've not listened to it, but anytime all the highlights are that, and I'm like, I don't know. Everyone's just. Every single person, if you said one person's really shitty to him, okay, but every single person is like, I kind of think it's more him. And I feel bad for his partner because, like, I don't know anything about him really because I never heard him really much, but I kind of think he's not like that. And they're only hurting themselves because I think they're going to run out of places to wrestle. They're just going to be on indies, which is fine. They'll be happy, I guess, but they're not going to have a big stage or. To really showcase
I think they're going to talk themselves out of work. In my opinion, that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Howe wants us to answer his question.
Oh, what was his answer?
He wants to know who remembers what's eating Gilbert Grape.
I've seen it.
I've seen it. I remember it. I like that movie.
It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is that about
Patrick Howe?
Is Patrick Howe? Is that character based on Patrick Howe?
Who, Gilbert Grape?
No, the brother.
He wishes he was eating Geraldine. What are you talking about?
Who's eating Geraldine?
That would be his fantasy film.
Patrick Howe
you
wishes
might take that
Tony
a couple different ways now I think about it.
Patrick Howe wishes he was Tony Atlas, and that's Geraldine.
Really? I could tell her that. I was talking to her earlier. You want me to tell her, Patrick Howe, you want her to pound your face? Maybe she'd be into that. I don't know. She's like 5'10". She's a pretty big woman.
What do you think Tony's doctor would say if he's seen these videos?
Which one is physical doctor or is like psychiatrist?
Either one, yeah.
Maybe you should go see a psychiatrist. I have to say, the more I watch that, it never really gets old.
Yeah, I was getting a little tired of the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock one, but this one I think I could just watch forever.
And then it never stops being funny. Every once in a while, I look up and then she stops and looks at you, and it's almost like she's just looking at me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's like, you just love black men.
Like those paintings where you follow the eyes. It's always looking at you. It's like look. As soon as she'll stop here, she'll look at the camera. It's just like she's looking right at you. See?
She said, "This is for you, Neil."
This is just so bizarre, though. It's just like, what? Why is he into this?
I never saw.
Happy New Year. I can hear it every time it loops. You guys don't get to hear it, so I'm just
Oh,
hearing the
really?
slaps and kicks and him. Happy New Year. I've heard it like 100 times now.
It sounds like Lexar at the strip club.
Yeah.
Kenny King has re-signed with Impact. Wow, Impact's got all the top guys.
Whoopity doo.
I know, right? Wow.
I've never understood why Kenny King always got all these chances, but Addicted to Love never did. And I always thought he was better. Rhett Titus. Seems like no one ever gives him a shot.
Yeah.
He's an addict.
AEW
What do you expect?
I like Rhett Titus.
He's
Rhett
addicted to love.
Titus. And he's addicted to love. He's Rhett Titus. I always like that theme too.
Mhm.
AEW CEO, GM, and head of creative Tony Khan today announced the launch of AEW House Rules. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I think it's good to do house shows because a lot of the people are green, and it's good for them to get more ring work and become more experienced. Adam Cole seemed like he was. The thing is, though, you also have to put some of your big stars on it to sell tickets. So, Adam Cole seemed like he was hinting last week he will make his big in-ring return at Revolution. Who should he face? That's a good question.
Adam Cole.
I'm a big
Coming
Adam
back.
Cole fan. The crowds went nuts.
He was hinting
Someone
at
to
Revolution.
eventually lead to him to a title shot, because I think after MJF Daniel Bryan feud, I think that would be a good guy to go against MJF. So I don't know. Who's on the card that would be good for what?
Cole's a hot baby face right now. I think they could do something with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think like a big heel would be good for him to beat at the pay-per-view, but I'm trying to think like who would be good.
They'll turn him heel and feud him with Hook.
No, I really think they'll probably lead to something. I don't know. Because you don't see Miro, but he probably wouldn't do it. I guess he doesn't want to lose to people.
How to get paid and not work. Just,
Yeah,
I don't want to lose.
So
I
either
have to
I don't
think
want to
about it.
lose or punch your coworker.
Yeah, that one too works too.
Because I like Hobbs and something, but I don't want to see Hobbs get beat right now either. 'cause I think
Yeah,
he
you
can
don't
do
want him
something.
with Cole. It's kind of hard to think of anybody right now.
No, don't worry. After he beats everyone on Elevation and Dark, you'll see him feud with somebody who's got a name. They have like I checked. They have like 4 tag matches and like 2 trios matches every Dark.
You
And,
know,
like-
when I'm an AEW fan, and the main shows are great, especially live. But those dark things, I'm fine if they squash matches and they're like a few minutes, but a lot of them are literally like 10 seconds. It's a ring entrance, and they walk to the ring and just do a move and pin someone. I don't even understand what the point of that is. Like, you don't see anything. No one's learning anything. No one's going to improve doing that.
Yeah, so just imagine the house show.
Jack, I have it. It's the Battle of the Kingdom. Adam Cole versus
Fuck Matt Taven.
You know who I'm talking about. Matt
Fuck Matt Taven. Fuck
Taven.
Bennett. Fuck
Matt
those
Taven.
J Browns.
And I was having trouble remembering his name.
I thought he was your hero. Don't you have a Matt Taven butthole tattoo?
I thought he was going to say Johnny Swinger.
Johnny Swinger. Is he
I
still
think they would
alive?
have a good match. I know I'm joking.
No, he wouldn't. It would be
Yeah.
a match no one gave a flying fuck about.
Oh, Oh, go love your Cody Rhodes.
I will say this: Cody Rhodes is way more connected to the crowd than Matt Taven ever will be.
Oh, that's why they're booing him all the way out of the building.
It's better than sitting in silence or just leaving. When I saw him, and this is, you can ask Troy and B who were there. The Matt Taven came out, and the whole aisle next to me just got up and left. They just got up and left and never came back.
How much did you pay him to say it for you? How much did you give him? I know you sweetened it up for him. Say, Venture
I've
ever
seen him
asked?
twice live now. Both times they just sat there in empathy. They just apathy.
Venture ever asked?
I've seen him live, but lots of times on indie shows before Ring of Honor, during Ring of Honor. No one enjoys this
Look
movie.
at this. Travis Sindal. He's got the bucks.
He's gonna pay off Travis. He's gonna pay off that team.
I think it would take $5.
Have you been watching the program Last of Us?
Mhm.
No, but I've heard really good things, so no spoilers, and I will watch it at some point.
Galgo13 here in the chat room. He says, "Don't be a Melvin, Jack," which you are. You're being.
Come on, you guys can't like this total dweeb. Imperium versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet this week on SmackDown. Winner faces the Usos for the SmackDown tag titles. Who is winning?
Jonathan Jackson.
I'm going to say Strowman and Ricochet because
I'm
I
gonna
think he won
Jonathan
heel versus
Jackson
face.
wins. Jonathan Jackson wins. No, I'm sorry. I was about to read his comment, but I
What'd he
really didn't
say?
even hear the question. He said, "I thought you were pausing for dramatic effect. Turns out my internet went out again. I guess I'm tapping out from the Zoom. I'll just watch and
All right. Well,
chat."
we're probably winding
Yeah.
down here anyway.
Yeah.
Any accomplishments you like to achieve in February? I'll turn 47 in February. In 17 days, my birthday. So, Headyverse out there, if you would like to send me birthday presents, I'll open them live here on the show.
Ooh. Sweet.
2 Campbell Street, Sandwich, Massachusetts, 02563.
Dox himself. But you gotta have an address to send to.
Exactly, bitch. I mean, insure. I'm watching Avatar 2 on Friday. Well, I enjoy it. I don't fucking know. I've not seen it. I don't hate the first one, but I'm not really a big fan. So
I've never met it.
But a lot of people love it.
I've never met an Avatar fan. I've never met
come
one.
on. People really love them.
I've never had anybody come up to me and be like, "I really love Avatar."
Yeah, but has anyone just come up to you in the street and say, like, I love, like...
I'm saying I haven't
anything?
met anybody who said they are an Avatar fan. I mean,
Have you ever been on
they
the
might be
internet?
out there, but it's like monster truck fans. I've never met anybody who says I'm a big
Oh, I'm
monster
sure you had to. You live in West Virginia. You probably just walk outside and everyone's just like, "Hey, boy, you seen the Bigfoot?" Yeah.
I've never
and
met
they start
anybody.
dancing. I've been to a Bigfoot rally. I mean, a monster truck rally.
I've never been to one.
It was called the mud race or something, and they just drove the trucks in the mud. It was so boring. I kept asking my friend's dad, like, "Is this over yet?" And I think he got like really annoyed. I was a little kid. I was like, God, because just sitting there, you're just watching these trucks in the mud, and like they only move like 10 feet because they get stuck in the mud. And like I was like, and people are just sitting around like all excited. I was like, what the fuck is it?
I had to
And I
take
was a
my
little
kids to
kid.
this
You think
one.
maybe a little kid would like it, but
I had to take my kids to this one, Shaq, and they're all like, "Oh, this is awesome!" I'm sitting here like the most boring shit I ever saw in my life.
yeah, it was
I'm
like
going to buy one theater
hours
right
and
now.
hours of trucks just stuck in the mud. I don't know.
Thank
They
God they
didn't run
sold
over
beer.
cars or anything.
If they didn't sell beer, I wouldn't have stayed. It was bad.
I would have left if I wasn't like 10 or something. If I had a way home. Thoughts on this quote, and please answer the end questions. Is WWE hot? Attendance and ratings are up. What do you think is bringing fans back to the product? Is it just the storyline, Triple H running creative, or other reasons? I do think it's a combination of those things. The Bloodline story is definitely hot. And I do think a lot of I think the idea where it's like there is a thing of like the internet fans who are knowledgeable, but I do think some people are stuck in the 90s when it was like this very small percentage. But more people know about that today. It's just because everyone has the internet. So more people know like Vince is out and Triple H is getting over. And there was, when NXT was hot, it wasn't the most watched, but it was the most talked about WWE show at that time. And a lot of it was, they knew Triple H ran it. So then when Triple H took back over, I think a lot of those fans like, I'm going to give this show a shot again. So I think it's a combination of these things. Well, then they give it a shot, and then you see the Bloodline stuff, and I do think they like some of the other people that he's brought back, like some of the NXT people, Rhea Ripley.
All right. So for a second here, what cracks me up is people that didn't live through the Monday Night Wars like you did, Incher did, most of the listeners here, we all did. Yeah. But you'll read online and like they've read or seen the WWE revisionist history, and now like that's exactly how it was. They're completely off kilter. They're just believing the WWE bullshit, which I don't do. That's so stupid.
And they made like there's more documentaries like on the network and stuff about that like 3 or 4 year period than like of all of other wrestling. For a while, like I liked it for a while, but I was like, I mean, how much more do I have to hear about the Attitude Era, the Monday Night War, and ECW, which I love too. But it's like that's all they would talk about.
Yeah, but and
it was the same thing all the time. It's like, we were pushing the baby faces at the fan. Then we pushed, the ones the fans wanted to get behind. I'm like, yeah, I know all this stuff.
Well, they never mentioned that WCW was the best thing for a couple of years. They never mentioned that. They were. Yeah. That'll never happen in WWE revisionist history.
Yeah, it's just like they just push it like they were doing more edgy stuff, but it was way better. It was better storytelling. The NWO stuff that was like really compelling television. Mustafa Ali contract is set to expire mid-2024. No exact month of when it expires. As of right now, there's no talks between Ali and WWE for contract extension. There's no plans for Mustafa Ali for WrestleMania as of right now. Thoughts? He's a guy I don't understand why anyone cares about.
I have no idea why they brought him back.
I know people like he deserves like all this like giant push, and I was like, why? Like I don't.
Hasn't showed me anything.
He's just like a guy, like he's fine, but he could just be he's just like a fine wrestler, but he's got no charisma or nothing stands out about him.
I don't see it.
No.
And if you want like just a good in-ring guy, like a guy like Ricochet, something's a lot better. Or Finn Balor. So he's like lesser than those guys with less charisma. So I don't really understand what the point would be.
The jumping Ricochet and Logan Paul
that was
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not too big on Logan Paul.
No, I don't like the guy personally, and it seems like the fans want to boo him, so I'm not sure why they just don't make him a heel. But I don't really know anything about him going into the
show. Needs to stop doing cool stuff because I want to hate him.
Yeah, because it's hard to then boo
him. Yeah. Let us hate you, damn it.
But he does do cool stuff, I have to admit. As of today, WWE has no plans for the following wrestlers for WrestleMania. Johnny Gargano. I'll be honest, I was a fan of him like in Dragon Gate USA when I used to see him. But he came out in the Royal Rumble and he just is not over in the least.
Yeah. He had a big pop when he first returned, but
that was a cool segment, actually.
Yeah, he's kind of doing this comedy stuff though with Dexter, and that's not what people.
Yeah, I don't think that works for him. When he came back at that big pop, and he just talked about like wanting to
Mhm.
win a belt and stuff. I thought that was good.
That's what people like from him.
Karrion Kross, that one is surprising. It does seem like they're not really big on him anymore. I don't know.
Vince is dipping his finger in that creative pie.
Alexa Bliss, I'm sure she'll be involved somehow, probably with Captain Howdy and stuff. Ronda Rousey, I just don't think she's on this comeback. She's even really putting her all into it. So. Elias, I've always been a fan, but it seems like I don't know. I just don't think they really see anything in him. And also, I'll be honest, on the Rumble, he wasn't over either.
They had Rick Boogs back, and I think they're going to have a battle between the guitarists, Rick Boogs and Elias.
Viking Raiders, I think that gimmick's just too goofy.
It's pretty goofy. It's just like your Vikings.
Yeah, they're Vikings in 2023. Like I don't understand.
They're like with Sarah Logan, they've really got like more serious about it too, and it's just kind of like
they need a guy with a time machine who manages all these people from other time periods.
That's
and
true.
His deal is he gets all the great warriors from different time periods to try to win belts in modern day.
That's a money gimmick. I like.
Yeah, you got to bring in that caveman
anything involving a time machine.
Exactly. You need more. Yeah. Who is a good like manager that would build a time machine?
Teddy Long.
He's been off all these years just building a time machine. That'd be pretty awesome. They run like vignettes and they show him in his basement just build a time machine for the last like 7 years.
Hopefully you'll let me borrow it so I can stop Lexar from.
Man, what a waste of a time machine. As soon as you stop him, you get back in the time machine. He just looks back at the computer and just starts jerking off.
It's like, oh, this girl.
You just
wants
prolonged
me to
it.
send nudes. Okay.
Shotzi Blackheart. I'm not going to watch WrestleMania now if Shotzi Blackheart's not on it.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Raquel Rodriguez. I think that was the one I said I liked earlier.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler. Man, I mean, I like Dolph, but I mean, I don't know. Guys,
do you really like Dolph?
Nah.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
This is subject to change, anyway. Wednesdays in your head reminds me of the old days. Any memories of hosting in your head on a Wednesday? Well, that was our first day when we started doing it live.
Yeah.
Wednesdays at 6:05.
Who said that?
That was Nikhil's last question, but that was another thing they copied from us when they started doing the 6:05 podcast, because we used to do the show at 6:05.
Copycats.
Brian Jones, what is your favorite dessert?
I like ice cream.
Ice cream's good. I do like cheesecake.
Apple pie.
Apple pie's good.
Ice cream and apple pie's good too.
Now you're talking.
I like baklava.
Well,
it's a Greek dessert. I have a lot of Greek restaurants and stuff around here. Do you think the WWE will cut Hardy out of the Royal Rumble replay?
Maybe.
That was horrendous.
Yeah, it's such weird timing too. Like right at the main event. It's like they normally play those shows earlier.
That guy was just like screaming into the mic. Who does?
I don't know him.
Is that what they normally sound like? Like I never even heard of him.
He's like country, but he's like heavy metal, and I don't know.
I can't imagine whose like audience is that.
Beats me.
Here's something funny, guys. Like he's coming to our county fair. I told you I live in a town of 1,000 people. 200 people will show up at the county fair. This guy's going to be the draw.
There you go.
Nobody's showing up for that.
Go get you some Hardy.
I used to go to the Barnstable County Fair here, and when I was a kid, every year it was always Chubby Checker.
Chubby Checker and the Fat Boys are doing the twist.
I could be wrong, but my memory is I was very young, and it was the first person I saw live. And my memory is he just kept singing the twist over and over, but I could be wrong.
How does Venture know who the Fat Boys are? Nobody knows who that is. I talked to my friends about it, and they're like, "That's not a real thing." I'm like, "Yeah, they had a movie, Disorderlies. It was a deal."
I actually contacted them once to see if they would do a theme song.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, they wanted money, obviously.
The Fat Boys wanted money.
Yeah, I mean, they are the Fat. I don't know who's left of the Fat Boy. I think one of them was left at the time. Vic Schiavone, your opinions on the calls for Randy Orton to be canceled for liking a controversial tweet? What did he like?
Steven Simmons has informed us in the chat room Hardy will be at the WV State Fair.
Really? Entry gonna go?
I don't know. I might have to go check out some Hardy. Does he like the Hardys? Does he have thick burgers?
I feel like he'll get ripped off.
Yeah.
I was trying to read this tweet, but it messed up my thing. All right, let me flip. I don't know.
What's with Zoom? Why is it only affecting us too?
Well,
I don't get it.
I don't know if anyone else listening to the show is like doing a bunch of stuff on their computer at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll try to look on here on my phone. Does anyone know what tweet that Randy Orton liked?
No. Why has he got to hit us with this so late in the show?
Why we got a second here? I'll tell you guys something funny. So my name is pronounced Travis Sandal, but I appreciate the way you guys say it even more. It's the best. Travis
Sandal.
Always. I love that. And my wife's always like, that's the best. She loves it.
This is a dumb tweet that he liked.
Travis Sandal.
He liked this tweet by Mike Coundry. Just a friendly reminder that top athletes dropping dead was not a common occurrence before the introduction of COVID-19 vaccine mandates. I mean, I don't think he should get fired for that, but I do think it's a dumb thing to put out into the world.
I say, fire him. He's been there too long.
Well, I agree with that part, but not over the Twitter.
Just fire him for anything, any reason.
There's a report. This is Jonathan Jackson. There's a report that Hulk Hogan can't feel his legs. Yeah, that's awful. I saw that earlier.
That's awful. Yeah. Dang.
But do you think his thermos is still fully functional?
Oh, goodness gracious.
That was Jonathan Jackson, not me.
Are we talking about Hulk
Hogan's
wiener or Terry Bollea's wiener? Because those are two
No,
different
that's
things.
true, because one's 12 inches and one's like 6 inches.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jackson.
Is Incher's penis bigger than J.D. Howard's penis?
I don't know.
Tyler Stevens, how big is Brock's cock?
Oh boy.
Oh, good Lord. I'm staying up for this. Come on, bro.
Just Tyler Stevens
I'm
would haven't let Perry Saturn share a hotel room with you.
Who wouldn't let Perry Saturn share a hotel?
Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
He lives here now, like in Iowa.
Really? I haven't heard about him for a while.
Yeah, so like he lives in Iowa, and he was homeless, and they did a big GoFundMe thing for him. He ran through all the money, blew through all the drugs, and all that sort of thing. Now he's broke again and trying to get money again.
That's terrible.
Dang.
Have you ever?
He's like 3 hours from it. It's a crazy deal.
Yeah, that's too bad. Have you ever been compelled to do a spin-a-rooney? That'd be pretty cool. I'm gonna do one at HeadyCon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right after Beach do her farts.
I'll do one right now. All right, let's go.
Do it.
Here we go.
Do it. Help!
I'm doing it.
You can enter. You stick your legs up in the air and spin around a little bit.
Oh, wait a minute.
Can Incher tell us a story from the drunk tank era?
Drunk tank story.
Did you ever do a spin-a-rooney at the drunk tank?
Jeez, I can't think of one right at the moment. Jeez. I took there was like a asbestos underneath us, like on like the floors below us, and they put us in the third floor, which doesn't really seem like something you should be doing, but I stole an asbestos sign from, because it had a skull and crossbones on it.
Good.
If I could find it.
You still have it?
I still have it, but like getting to it's probably hard.
He's a hard criminal.
Oh, interesting. What if they broke in and just arrested Incher right now?
Like him and Dob, like they should talk. You know,
Yeah.
changes a man.
I'd have to drag out a bunch of stuff, but
Hey.
yeah, it has like skull and crossbones on it, so I thought that was kind of cool.
Is it filled with asbestos? Like, don't get cancer.
I hope not. But I'm trying to. I can't really think of one, and like, no, I don't have very many good stories right now. My brain's not working.
You're just thinking about that beef stew and farts. Dobbs wants to know, hello, how are you doing?
Dobbs, how's
Doing
it going,
good.
Dobbs?
Tyler Stevens, your favorite member of the NWO? I want to say Scott Hall, but it honestly might be Hollywood Hogan. I really loved Hollywood Hogan.
I'm a big Hollywood Hogan fan.
I was not a fan of Hogan growing up, but at that moment I became a big Hogan fan. Hollywood Hogan.
Hey yo.
But yeah, I love Scott Hall too.
Are you here to see WCW? Or are you here to see the bad guy? Score another.
Or is it Horace Hogan?
Oh no. Shit.
Stevie
Dobbs
Ray
also
was pretty cool when he would talk about the slapjack. Always liked hearing him talk about the slapjack.
He's not good. Tyler
What?
Stevens.
You loved him. Let the
He's a
fans
nice
say.
guy, but what wrestler would you like to see as a Mario-like NES character? Interesting. So riding around on the cart.
Jonathan
Bob
Jackson's-
Holly. Bob Sparkplug Holly.
Mhm. Well, there is like a WWE like Mario Kart
Is there?
kind of game. It's called Crash Hour, I think. I don't think I have it.
How about Medusa? She could ride her monster truck.
Mm-hmm. Vince has got to have some sort of cart.
Or Austin riding the Zamboni in
Mhm.
Mario. That'd be pretty fun. Shotzi on her tank for Incher. He's a big Shotzi fan.
Vince can have the rape limo.
The rape wagon. Just raping the princess in the back. Got Toadstool going to town.
NDAs just flying out the windows.
Yeah, you could drop them and they're like the banana peels. Like
Yeah.
you hit them and you slip.
NDAs and money.
That'd be a good one. What
Carlito,
wrestler?
you throw apples.
Yeah, they need the cart from WrestleMania 3. Like Andre could ride around in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, he'd be like Bowser. What is your favorite wrestling poop story?
Guess the Mark Henry one, but even though it's pretty foul, I mean, I do think it's wrong. But
Yeah,
that's
any
the first
poop,
one that
anything
pops up.
involving poop's bad. I had a thing today. Now, it's always funny to me that poop has become cute and they make all these poop toys. It's very strange to me. But I got an ad today from Amazon. It's a real thing they sell. It's edible poop for kids. Like it's like a toy. Like when I was a kid, they had like easy bake oven and stuff. This is to make like edible poop. I'm like, is that something you really want your teacher kid like to eat poop?
No.
I saw what you posted, and I was like, no way ever. I ain't buying that shit.
Yeah, what the hell? Would you trade a Coleco Chameleon for an Intellivision Amico? That's Brian Matthew Clutter.
Brian Matthew Clutter. I'd probably take the Amico because I have the damn games for the fucking thing and it ain't coming out. So I need to play it on something. I mean, like, I at one time I thought the thing was going to come out, but not anymore. When I found out they were $2 million in debt, I knew it was bad. But you want to see
Tyler
the game?
Stevens says Conan was his favorite.
No, I've seen that.
Jonathan Jackson says, get with the times, old man. Kids love eating the poop.
No.
Tyler Stevens, thoughts on NWA Power?
Who watches that shit?
Even when it was kind of popular for a while, I tried to watch it and I was like, man, this just kind of sucks.
Yeah, I gave it 2 weeks. That was enough for me.
Finnegan Fox, Brain Duel, Tecmo Bowl, Missile Command.
Missile Command, yeah.
You were confused. You even like did a double take. Biplanes, is that like planes that have sex with men and women?
Yeah, of course.
Evil Knievel?
Mm-hmm. It's hip stuff, current stuff.
Dyna Blaster.
Here you go, Jack. There's a blast from the
Moon
past.
Patrol. Wow, yeah, it's got some real old stuff. Moon Patrol and Missile Command.
Yeah, and they weren't trying to appeal to the retro crowd.
Rigid
This is a
Force.
really good.
Oh, like they're like real graphics or what?
No, I mean they're like this one's pretty decent graphics, but like that's like a space shooter kind of thing.
Right.
But they were trying to be like that's Moon Patrol. But these things, it's not coming out. It doesn't seem like it's coming out.
They sold the games, but they never put out the actual game to play.
Exactly. They've sold the games. The system's not coming out.
So can you get your money back or anything?
I guess I could, but I kind of like having the physical.
How much? If you don't want to say, but how much did the games cost?
It was like $150, I think,
each
for all of them.
Oh,
so
jeez.
And there's like it's really not a game in here. It's just a card and a coin, and like
you just paid for a box with like a baseball
essentially,
card.
Yeah. It was like you could use the card to download the game when it came out, but they never released it. This has been an ongoing thing for 3 years now.
Holy shit.
And it's like,
why didn't it come out? What's like the story behind it?
They basically just mismanaged the company and never got it to release. Okay, Tommy Tallarico is Steven Tyler's cousin. And he bought Intellivision, and he's been going on the internet making all these crazy claims that he's releasing this system. This has been ongoing for 3 years now. And it's basically turned out to be like a big scam.
Damn.
So, and they got me on this. But I mean, if they did say they were releasing the system, I would buy it, but they're not because they're out of money now. And they fired all their employees. I mean, they had like demo units and everything, and they're showing it off. So it was like pretty convincing that they're actually going to release the damn thing. But it turns out it's probably just a scam. So, but yeah, I have the whole set of games. There you go, Brian Matthew Clutter. But I did say one time on the show I thought it was coming out, but it is not coming out. It is a big.
Do you have Coleco handheld football? I still play that damn thing.
I don't have the handheld football. I got the Donkey Kong Coleco mini games. I got
I got the old school one that took the 9-volt battery back in the day. It was my dad's, and he gave it to me, and I still play the damn thing.
it's pretty sweet. And I got the Frogger one too, I think. So yeah.
That's the only cool video game thing I got that I could relate to you with, but I figured I'd share that with you.
Excellent. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't have that little handheld football one. That's pretty cool though. I can see it right now, like the one that's like has two sides or something. Or,
Yes, you're exactly right. Yep.
yeah.
Tony Oberstar, if you had to use mustard as a lubricant for your whacking off, which mustard would you use and why?
Probably honey mustard. Because it probably wouldn't burn
I
as
think
much.
even just plain yellow mustard, because that's what they use in like mustard gas and stuff. You're probably gonna like really burn your penis.
Yeah. Like honey would probably soothe it a little bit, maybe.
Maybe.
Spicy mustard, so it stings a little. You know, that's
Ooh.
all.
You don't want to mess with the spicy.
And you don't want, I don't think you want like stone ground mustard because it would be like coarse and you probably like rip your dong.
Ouch.
No ripping the dong.
Lexar, WWE was going to name Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. We did this one. Oh, I see. Someone stole it. Lexar, Ric Flair said that he doesn't like women bleed in matches. Do you agree? I've seen actually some really good matches over the last couple of years with that were bloody in the women's match. So it depends on the match.
Yeah.
The Britt Baker match was really good.
It's kind of what made Becky Lynch a big deal. Is because
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, true. I mean, it's not like I sit there and be like, hell yeah, but I mean, no, I mean, I don't mind blood in wrestling. Huh? I think when you do it every once in a while, it works really well. Lexar, this year's Royal Rumble Premium Live event was the highest grossing event in history. Are you impressed? I mean, that's cool, but I don't really care if a company, I ain't making the money. I just like to, if it's good and I like the main thing in it. So I like that.
Yeah.
Now that we are on the road to WrestleMania, which car would you drive?
I like Steven Simmons. He says Grey Poupon because I'm a classy lad.
That's true. And it probably wouldn't stain your wiener all like yellow.
Shit.
What if you went to the doctor and he's like, "Why's your nuts all yellow?" And you're like, "It's because I jerk off."
You think he just know? He's like, "Oh, been jerking off with the mustard again." I've seen this before.
I'm not going to the doctor for that shit.
But what car would we drive on the road to WrestleMania? I'd like to restore my 77 Caprice Classic.
Is that the one that blew up?
Down that road. No, it was the one that had the cat's head coming out of it that was like exploding.
Oh, okay.
That was very foreshadowing because the other car that I had did like catch on fire like that. So, but yeah, it's yellow.
I got a curious question
like
for
mustard.
you guys. I got a curious question for you guys. I heard that Jack has a marketing idea about the Boogeyman.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, I heard like there's a rumor about that. I've never heard the story, of course, but
yeah. Well, we got time here, ain't you? So,
Travis,
Tony Khan, if you're out there watching, I know you're watching, and you want to bring back the Boogeyman. So now, if you remember, Enter the Boogeyman, people would be into the Boogeyman. He'd grab the worms and stuff. He'd eat the worms. So you can have him on the show, and he comes out. And how do you interact with that? You sell gummy worms, Enter. So the kids are watching, or even adults, and they're like, "I want to get on TV." What do you do? Oh, he's out there grabbing the gummy worms. and you make sure it's almost like the kiss cam, but you got a camera out there, and you capture the guys, the men, the women, whoever it is eating the gummy worms. You do this every week. The people know, like, holy shit, if I eat the gummy worms, I'm going to get on TV and it's fun. So then you do that. Another thing, you can have them on twice a show. They have to rebuy the gummy worms. It's not like a hat or a t-shirt where you buy it and you have it forever. You eat it, so you got to replenish it. Then you're leaving the arena and you're like, well, what the hell? I mean, I love the boogeyman, but I ate all my gummy worms. I guess I'm going to buy another bag to bring home as a souvenir. You could sell them 3 times in one show, and then you could sell them multiple times to the same people every time they go to a live show. Forget the briefcase of money that MJF gave to Roosh. You could be getting a briefcase of money every show off that sweet gummy worm cash. Boom.
You're a genius, sir. I never would have thought of that. I've never heard it before.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, they should do that. That'd be a good thing that they could do.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody's ever thought about it.
Then I've been thinking about something for Incher. The WV peanut butter. So it's this underwear, and it's got packets of peanut butter in. You could maybe it's like a so you put it in the underwear, and and there's like a little tube that goes down your butt crack. And then you pull the plunger when you want to play the WV, and it shoots out the peanut butter, and you're like, hey, look, Billy, I'm doing a WV. And and everyone can pretend they're doing the WV.
I'm fucking dying.
I think that'd be a fun toy. It'd be like in the Ninja Star Wars that Eric Bischoff invented. And poop's all the rage now, Incher. Everybody loves poop now.
Steven Simmons, he says, taking the Vince McMahon rape limo on the road to WrestleMania.
Jonathan Jackson says that would be a big hit with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Does he mean the rape limo, or does he mean
that's going into another?
That's going to be the next big thing after the poop runs.
No.
It does make you wonder after poop does run its course, what the hell are kids going to play with next?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, entrails.
Yeah.
All right.
Raising a nation of Jeffrey Dahmers.
Well, I think if you're eating poop and stuff, you're going to grow up to be like some kind of fucking psychopath.
Yeah. I bet your mom made you eat a lot of poop, didn't she?
I'll make you eat my poop, and you've got to learn to love it, pal.
See, my point's proven right there. Did you hear that reaction? Look at him. Look at that psychopath.
Is it a fart or is it beef stew?
Oh, God, with this again.
All right, well, that was a fun show.
Yeah, I had a good time. Were you wanting me to hang up when you went into the whole boogie?
I did see there was one more question. Lexar was trashing my festival. But you know what? I made 2 movies, and they've played worldwide at festivals. And I was trying to be nice about this, but I do think that's cooler than going and coming in my pants to women who pretend to be into me. But, if that's what Lexar decides to do with his money and his time, that's up to him. He goes home and he's got to give his mom his cum-stained underwear to wash. And he's, he's like, man, I'm a really cool guy.
Feud of the year. Canada here. Feud of the year. Well, now. I had fun, Jackie Jones.
I had a good time, too. With the Big Papa. Yeah, Big Papa.
Yeah. Travis Sandow.
I had a great time. Thank you, fellas, for putting up with me. It was a good
No
time.
Of
problem.
course. Jonathan Jackson says one of these days a stripper will tell Lexar she loves him for paying her all. You know what? I'm just thinking. Jonathan Jackson's thinking his internet goes out and saying he's got this big bad computer that never glitches on the Zoom. Maybe instead of just zipping out like this, his Zoom just knocks out his internet.
Mhm.
Boom. Take that, Mr. Self-built gaming computer. All right, we'll be back next week. Back, I believe, at Tuesday at a regular time. Although it is cool doing it right after Dynamite, but we'll figure it out.
I'll
Join the
see you
Facebook group.
all.
Subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications every time we go live. Tell all your friends, share the show, and we'll see you next time.